Yeah, we got it bumping.
You need to disconnect that cable, cause if you want the truth, we at the round table. We give it real when the mothers ain't able. That's what it is when we at the round table.
Tonight we riding for Mariz Gonzalez. So welcome to the round table. What's going on, my good people?
Building, baby. What's happening?
Welcome.
Much love to everybody that's riding. They riding tonight. Some of y'all was already buckled in before we even got started. I was like, wait, they already, okay, all right. Soldiers, riders, baby. What's going on, GG and Miss T in the building? Miss T don't be in here tripping.
Miss T in the building. What's happening, Miss T?
Miss Charlene, Charity in the building. My smoke sisters then slid on through. What's going on, Candace?
Smoke sisters.
Yeah, they in here. Coco Finest. Okay, then. Miss Classy, Virgo Moon. We appreciate y'all riding, man. Because, yeah, this story disturbed me. I was very disturbed. And when Boss brought it to me, yeah, I just was cussing. I know they was like, wait, 54, hold on. Hold up. You know, because we're talking about an 11-year-old girl here. She's 11.
Yeah. It struck home for me because, you know, my daughter just turned 13 yesterday. You know, you got a daughter who just turned, what, 15 today?
15 today. Yep.
So the first thing, you know, hit me was like, man, if this was my child,
yeah,
I'm turning the whole city upside down.
That's it, man. Salute to you, Juanita. Yeah, and it's disturbing. And again, she's 11. Her name is Mariz Gonzalez. So let me just show y'all this who we riding for tonight. Her. And at the end of the day, let me tell you something. I'm just looking at the fact that this is an 11-year-old girl. I don't care what color she is, where she came from, Facts. None of that. None of it.
Facts.
We're talking about an 11-year-old child. She's a child. She a baby, as far as I'm concerned.
Talk to him.
So that's why we're here. And we're gonna bring y'all some details. We definitely gonna go over the details. But I'm glad y'all all here supporting the round table. You know, we appreciate y'all. So do we have anybody in the chat that is not familiar with this case? Okay, Shia, you said you're not? Okay.
Because I was about to say, for anyone who's heard about the case so far, who's been following the case, type a 1. And if you are not familiar with the case, type a 2.
So we can see where everybody at with it.
Yeah, we can get a little bit of a registered vote in here.
What's going on, 80s baby? Fire mama in the building. Miss Sharon Boyd said, I'm not familiar. We're going to get y'all up to speed. Y'all know how we do at the round table. We're going to get y'all up to speed. Okay, Sweets, you said you, okay.
All right.
Tay-Bay, is it? Okay, she said no. K Bless said yeah, okay. Hattie said no. Brown Sugar said, okay. B Hunt, you ain't, okay. Well, good. So y'all gonna learn something tonight. Y'all at the round table.
Y'all know what we do over here.
And we're going to try to break it down the best way we can.
Yeah, especially being that this is a Hispanic family.
Correct.
Hispanic case, if I can call it that. You know what I'm saying? So we had to dig deep from so many resources. And some of them had to come from the Spanish culture. And that's just what we had to do. Yeah.
We even reached out to someone, and we're going to get him up here in just a moment. Because some of the news clips that we were finding, because you know we were trying to get all the details, and some of the news clips that we felt like had the most details were actually in Spanish. So we needed a translator. We needed somebody to break it down for us.
Right.
And we found somebody, and like I said, we'll introduce him in a little bit. And we appreciate him helping us because, like I said, that was a part. I mean, John be doing a little bit.
I try to do my best. You know, when you can read Spanish and know that, you know, I've got Spanish background, you know, on my mother's side. And, you know, when you're used to hearing it, is one thing. When you're reading it, then it's another. But, you know, by not speaking it fluently, then that becomes a different aspect of it, you know.
Right.
But Sunflower says she can.
Yeah, great.
Oh, okay. So
great.
So do we have any other people in here that speak Spanish?
Yeah.
That would be very helpful. What's going on?
Y'all just don't know. I was at work because I work, you know, I'm a supervisor at a hotel, and we got some Hispanics there. And I took it to them. I said, "Hey, tell me what they said right here, please." Hey,
right.
we use all of our resources. Trust me.
We did. Just trying to understand the details so we can bring them to y'all. You know.
Yeah.
We had to do that. Tony, we would love to have you, baby.
Yeah, we got Speak Your Piece at the end, so y'all sit tight, stay tuned. We're gonna break it down and then give you guys an opportunity to speak your piece.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is start with this clip right here, because this gave an overview of the story for those of you who have not heard about it. So we're gonna start with this. Y'all ready to ride? Y'all riding? Ride, baby. Okay. All right. Let's go then.
This is out of Houston, Texas.
Pasadena? Is that considered?
The location of where Maria lived is in Pasadena.
Okay.
This story that we're about to show from the news clipping is out of Houston, Texas.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha. This channel has been covering this story.
Okay. Gotcha. Here we go.
Also tonight, topping the news, Pasadena police looking for the person who sexually assaulted an 11-year-old girl before strangling her to death.
Investigators say this happened on Saturday while the child's father was at work. Matt Doherty is live in Pasadena tonight, talking with the father and police. What are they saying, Matt?
Lenimia, the father, is devastated tonight. Tonight, police made it clear that he is not a suspect. In fact, he was the one who found his daughter beneath a bed on Saturday afternoon.
Dispatcher just asked the subject who put the 11-year-old in a trash bag under the bed. We're very unclear on what's going on with the call split.
On Saturday afternoon, paramedics in Pasadena were sent to this apartment complex to help a child who was found not breathing. Little did they know they'd arrived at the scene of a horrific murder.
Go ahead and get everybody out of the apartment, seal it off, and separate them.
Beneath the bed was 11-year-old Maria Elena Gonzalez, her body wrapped in a trash bag, stuffed in a laundry basket. One day later, her autopsy would show she'd been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled.
Very brutal, and obviously it's also taken a toll on our officers that were out there and made the scene.
She was a good, quiet girl, says Maria Elena's father, Carmelo Gonzalez, as we sat down with him today. He says it's been 4 years since he and his daughter came to the U.S. from Guatemala, and 3 months since they moved into this apartment complex. He tells us he left for work Saturday morning at about 9:45. Just after 10 a.m., his daughter sent him a message saying there was somebody knocking at the door. He told her not to open it. She said she wouldn't and that she would stay in her bed. It was the last communication he would get from his daughter. I called and called and called, her father said, but she didn't answer me. Gonzalez called his brother and sister-in-law, who also live at the complex, asking them to go check on her. When they got to the unit, the door was open and they didn't see the girl. Gonzalez was the one who found his daughter when he got home after he looked under the bed. Now police say they're on the hunt for a dangerous child killer. They're still awaiting the results of forensic tests, but so far have no suspects. Police say there was no forced entry, and security cameras at the complex may not have been working at the time of the murder.
She was a sweet little girl, little angel, and
tonight neighbors react to the killing. They tell us they threw a party for Maria Elena just a few weeks ago when she celebrated her 11th birthday. Now they're afraid for their own children.
To bring my daughter over here, no. And I'm just scared, like going to work and what's going to happen. Like, no, I don't want to think like that, but I don't feel safe here.
Pasadena police say nothing was taken from the home during the crime. They're asking anyone with information to give them a call tonight. Back to you.
Okay. So, yeah, that was sad. Gigi, I'm
Very
with
sad.
you. This was sad.
Mm. You know, it's a lot of questions that we had in the very beginning of this case. And one thing that we pride ourselves on is, staying the course, following the details. Because we almost made a mistake.
We did.
Seriously.
We did. Yeah.
And what law enforcement do in any case like this is they start at home.
Yeah.
That's where we start.
And we started there. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I couldn't get past the father with the details that we had at that very moment. I couldn't get past him. Yep. Because some of the details that that we had in the very beginning, I was like, wait, why would he do this? I was questioning his movement.
Yeah.
And I couldn't rule him out. I couldn't. But then we got more details. And that's why, and like I told Boss and them, that's why it's always important to just wait. You ain't got to be the first one to report it. You got to wait. You got to wait on the details. Because if we'd have come out here then, we'd have been all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All wrong. You got to wait on the details. And that's what we did. And it worked for us.
Yep.
Because now we're gonna be able to bring y'all the details that has really wrapped up the case. Yep. So
there were a number of details to really get into, and I'm glad that we had taken the time to analyze our first covering of the evidence that we came across concerning the dad. And we had a lot of questions about, what took him so long? Why did he show up after 3 o'clock?
Right.
Why didn't he leave work immediately to go home to find out what was going on,
Right.
And that's what led us to go deeper and to find out a little bit more details when it comes to victimology. You want to begin building the story from the victim and then start to draw your circles out. So dad, obviously, was number one. Building the story around who came to check on Maria was number two. And then we started unfolding and unfiltering a lot of additional information we didn't have when we first started.
That's right. That's right. And so this happened on August the 12th, right? Last Saturday. Early morning. What else we want to give them before we take them to the map? Oh, here's another detail. Maria and her father had only been in Texas or in the United States for 4 years. So we about to get to the map work because we want to show you their travel based off of the details that we got.
Right.
Right. How they traveled from where they began all the way up until they got to that apartment complex in Pasadena, Texas.
Yeah, and they started in Guatemala. That's right.
So
they're from Guatemala. Yeah, we ready to ride, baby.
All right, everybody buckle up.
Buckle up, everybody. It's time to take that trip. Map work.
Map work. Let's go, John.
Drop down on them, John.
Let's go to work. So our story begins here. South American country of Guatemala. This is where the family lived up until the time that Carmelo and his daughter Maria left his wife and other daughter / sister to go to America. When they left Guatemala and went to Florida. Now, Florida, there are several areas in Florida that we know of that has a high traffic of predominantly Latin American folks coming in through Miami, coming in through Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Big Port in Miami, as well as the Tampa Bay area, the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. And from there, however long they stayed, they didn't stay very long because their next trip from Florida, they moved over here in the Austin, Texas area.
Right. So they went from Florida to Austin. Okay.
Correct. Now, whether they had additional family here or folks here, or this was a connection that they had made, was still not clear on, how they managed to get to Austin. However, this is where they ended up. And shortly thereafter, after making contact, most likely with the relatives in Pasadena, Texas, well, we end up knowing that they left Austin to go to 1000 Main Street here in Pasadena, Texas, to an apartment complex here. This is an 8-unit, 8-compartment, 32-unit apartment complex that sits right off of Main Street. Now, the interesting part about this particular area and particular community is that it's made up of folks from Guatemala.
Yes. Yep. That's what we found out. So let's
We're dropping down on the map and checking out the terrain so you could see for yourself at 1004 Main Street, the complex in which Maria and her father lived.
Right there. Yeah, right there. And like you said, it's 32 units. Excuse me. It's 32 units. There's 8 buildings with 4 units in each.
Correct. Over here, identifying this particular area, obviously, what the RoundTable does, we start looking for cameras, we start looking for access points, we start looking for accessibility points.
Right.
And one of the things that we look for first, as we always do, is cameras.
Yep.
And this points out toward the Main Street block area, as does this camera here.
Mm-hmm.
So
everybody coming and going.
We found out that there were cameras there. I said, okay, let's get some video surveillance footage. Only to find out shortly thereafter that they were unable or unclear as to the reason why they couldn't access them, because for some strange reason there was a storm or something.
Right. I was just about to say there was a storm.
Knocked out the cameras. How convenient. That prevented those cameras from being operable at the time.
Right. And at first, when I first heard that, and I was like, well, who would know that? And then I'm like, maintenance? You know what I mean? People that live there, people that work there, they would know the cameras are not on or working properly. And we, I've worked at an apartment complex. So we, if we had issues with cameras, we didn't tell the tenants, but we knew working there. So instantly I'm like, what about maintenance? And then we got more details. That's it. We got more details.
And so we know that, this is a very small, tight community right off Main Street here. We see it right across the street. Just part resident, part commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you a handle on the block. This is a clinic. Right across the street over to the left by, I think there's a clinic and a pharmacy here.
Okay. And then what was next? Yeah, what was that?
Right. This is a Pentecostal church.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a huge church.
Mm.
So this is what the block looks like all the way around. And we were looking for anything peculiar, out of the ordinary. And it doesn't seem like there was any that we could pick up or think of in reference to what happened to Maria. But in focusing on the complex itself, we wanted to get an understanding of the terrain, access points on the sides of the building.
And then understand this, when we first went through these pictures, or, you know, when we dropped down and was looking around down here, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that there's no back door. So we saw the front where you have a entranceway, but there's no exit. Like you go in and go out the same door.
Right.
There's no back door on none of these units. And I was like, is that a fire? Is that a fire safety hazard? I mean, you would think there would be a back door, but
Exactly. And one would think that they would have an emergency exit in the event of a fire.
Right.
But the only access points that we found were directly out of the courtyard here.
Mm-hmm.
Access points of entry here and here only on both buildings.
Yeah, Raphael, that's right. One way in and one way out.
Took a look
because
at this building.
Oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
So we took a look at this building here to find out if they had access points in the back. Obviously, the same design and structure applies to building number 2. This is a realty company that was sitting next door. Mm-hmm. And then, as you can see, for the rest of the block, we get into the commercial area going down Main Street.
Right.
So we wanted to get a better idea as to the layout of the interior aspects of these apartments.
Yeah.
Being that there are 32 units, each modeled one directly or duplicated directly after the other, we went searching.
And what we found out was that they have 1 and 2 bedrooms. So some units, only have 1 bedroom. Some units have 2, but that's it. So I have the pictures, John. If you want me to go ahead and
oh yes,
I have the pictures. So
okay.
we want y'all. Yeah, we want y'all to see this. So just so y'all have a good visual of the outside. Now I want to take y'all inside these apartments. So, of course, this is where we just left, and those are the apartments, and it's called Main Village. And that's just kind of an aerial view. Now, here's the inside, and you could tell, you got the living room, and it kind of opens up into like the dining area, where it gives you enough room to put a dinette set right there.
Right.
Then then you have the door to the left. Okay, let's see what else we got. Now here's a really good view. I love this view right here. And y'all know why when we get there, but I love this view right here. But yeah, you see how it opens up into the kitchen. And there's the kitchen again. Now we go into the bedrooms. Look like they got ceiling fans. Okay. And then in this picture right here, if you look over here to the left, it looked like there's a hallway. Like this is a 2-bedroom unit, because from 1 bedroom, you look straight into the other one, which tells me the bathroom sits right here in between both.
Right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bathroom sits in between both right here. So let's see what else we got. See, and then here's another angle. So this is, of course, is a 2-bedroom unit. And like I said, you can look from 1 bedroom straight into the other. Here's another view of the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Rhonda. It did happen in the day, early in the morning.
Early in the morning. We about to get into the timeline. We just wanted to show y'all these pictures first because you're going to need these visuals when we get to bringing out more details. So here's the bathroom. And notice that the bathroom has a window. There's another shot of the bathroom. Then it looks like they have like a laundry area. Maybe that's on the first floor somewhere. Gotta be. If you look outside those windows, it don't look like it's upstairs, but. And then here's the apartment complex again, but looking at the gate. So from the back of it, looking at the gate.
See this comment 54?
No, I'm actually on another tab.
Okay, well, I'll read it for you. She's Royal Golden said all residential property have an entrance and an exit. It's a fire hazard to not have two entrances and exits.
Yeah, that's what I'm with you, Royal. And then here's the back. This is what John was showing before. There's nothing, there's no exit. Clearly. But they have the meters back here. This is where they come to read the meters. Okay. So right there, we just wanted to give y'all a visual because we want to go into the timeline. And one of the things that we found out was at 9:45, the father said he left for work. Right? 9:45. Yep. And then Maria's voicemail came in at what time?
Around 10. He was arriving at work. And the only reason you know that because he actually said it.
Yeah, that he was arriving at work when Maria had contacted him.
So we can make an educated guess that's what time he had to be to work. And we can also guess that if he left his home at 9:45 and he was arriving at his job at 10, he stayed 15 minutes away.
And so when Maria contacted him, she let him know, this being her father, that there was something happening at the time. She made contact. Someone was touching the door, knocking on the door. And he was under the impression, well, if somebody's at the door, don't let them in. Just keep the door locked, is what was told.
Right.
Yep.
And that she was in her room and that she wouldn't, that she wouldn't open up the door and that she was going to be in her room.
Right.
So oh, go ahead, boss. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the questions that I had was, was she there alone? And if this was a normal thing for them, right? Then he shouldn't have had to instruct her not to open the door. You understand what I'm saying? Like that should already be known. I mean, them the rules we give in the beginning.
Right.
Like, don't you open this door for nobody.
Right. And if that is something that he's taught her or told her, it makes you wonder then if if somebody knocks at the door, you don't answer it, why would you call your father?
Right. Yeah, that part just, I didn't understand, what alarmed her to call him. Like, because again, if this is a normal thing, then she should already know not to answer. She should have been ignoring the door. I just don't feel like it would have bothered her the way that it did, so much so that she called her father. And understand this, let's talk time. We got him leaving out at 9:45, correct?
Correct.
We got the voicemail coming in around 10-ish. So we're only talking 15 minutes. That's only 15 minutes. So from the time he left the house up until 10 o'clock, 15 minutes, she was calling him saying, somebody at the door. Like, almost like they watched him leave. 15 minutes is not a long time. But I know you know, I know we saw that we got some people in here that speak Spanish, so we want to play the voicemail. This is what you know, part of the voicemail that was sent to the father, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I feel like it's chopped and screwed. We don't have the whole voicemail. That's just my opinion. But we would like y'all input as to how y'all are interpreting the voicemail. So y'all want to hear the voicemail real quick?
Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, pay attention. It's only like 7 seconds. We're probably gonna have to play it a couple times, but pay attention, especially for those who speak Spanish. Pay attention.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Okay, y'all got it? Y'all got it? Because this is one of the reasons why, you know, we reached out to a couple people. But before, and I'll have to play it again, but we wanted to get a breakdown of this voicemail.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Did y'all hear it?
She sounds scared and calm at the same time. Charity says one more time. I heard it, but I don't got it. Kim said, please play it again. No comprendo, LOL, Rhonda.
You said play it one more time?
Yeah.
You see the comment?
Yeah, play it again.
Okay,
She's
said,
saying someone is knocking on the door, but she doesn't know who it would be.
Okay, so we can play it one more time. Boss, can you play it from your side? You were okay, wait, never mind. I'm back. My screen it keep freezing back here, y'all.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, it ain't playing for me back here.
All right.
Play it one more time for me.
Let me see if I can hit it. If I can find it.
You got it over here on the brand tab?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play it.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Now, she doesn't sound frantic. She sounds very calm, collected. Yeah. Like there is something going on, but not enough to actually frighten her. But she did inform her father that there was somebody at that door.
Right.
Or near that door.
So
in breaking this down and taking a look at these words that Maria was expressing to her father, you know, we had to go and start looking at translation. We started looking at this. Pensaba que me estaba tocando la puerta. I thought I was knocking on the door, is what we were beginning to find out. It was something about the door, whether it was the front door or whether it was her bedroom door. But there was something strange happening to the door.
Right.
Further investigating the second portion of what Maria had said, no sé, no hay visto, yo estoy aquí en mi cuarto, estaban tocando. I don't know, I haven't seen, I'm here in my room, they were playing.
So for those that are speaking Spanish, is that what Kay said? Do you hear the knock in the background? No.
Yes. She's the second person who said that.
Okay, so we need to play it again. And then another thing we want y'all to listen to is the voices. Tell us if you think this sound like the same person. Because that was one of the things we kind of went back and forth about, you know?
Right.
So yeah, let's play it one more time for him.
All right. You got it, John, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, I can hit it one more again.
Pensar que me está tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Oh, I heard a knock. I did. I did.
Man, run that back.
Run that back again, John.
Pensar que me está tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Yeah, there is something going on in the background.
It sounds like they knocked the phone, like maybe she bumped the phone to me. Like
I heard it.
Yeah, that's background. That's background. One more time.
Pensar que me está tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Bump, bump. That's what the sound sounded like. Bump, bump.
Pensar que me está tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Y'all hear it? Type of 1 if you heard that. Let's see how many people heard that. It is almost like a knocking. It's not a loud knock, but there is a sound of knocking twice. Dump, dump.
Yeah, to me it sounds like maybe, you know how you tap the phone or you bump the phone?
Right.
So I hear it, I just don't know what it is or where it's coming from.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Can't confirm.
Good pickup on that. It's a very good pickup. That's
why we ride with y'all.
Yeah, we were looking for voice differentials in the first message versus the second message. The tonality changes.
Right.
But they now pick up background sounds of a two knocking sounds in the background is very interesting.
It really is. Because we was listening to the voice because it sounded like two different people. I was like, is this, you know what I mean? It sounded like two different people.
Definitely did to me. Definitely.
Yes, two light knocks. That's what it sounded like to me. Candace said, read her comment.
Nevaeh said, after the knock, the tone of her voice changed.
Right, tonality. There was a tonality shift. I picked up on that.
Trying to find your comment, Candace.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't see it.
It's a lot of
looking for you, Candace. I'm looking for you. If you made a comment,
drop it again.
Yeah. If you made a comment, Candace,
here it is.
You found it? Okay.
Oh.
Dad, is that you knocking on the door?
Oh, okay.
Probably seen the dad's car still parked outside from the window.
Well, the dad, hold on.
So based off of what we've seen on the screen, because they had it kind of typed out what she was saying for those who speak Spanish, you know. So we had what she said. I thought I heard somebody knocking at the door or knocking at my door. '80s babies.
My fault. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was looking at 80s babies comment. She said they was knocking quietly, not to alarm other people in the units. Interesting.
And you're about to find out some information tonight that we were able to find regarding that unit.
Yes.
Now you remember the inside pictures that 54 Keys went over. Now, these are very small apartments. They're not very large, even though the pictures give you the appearance that they are.
Yeah, they're not big. I believe the 2-bedroom was like 1,000 square foot, and then
1,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, and then the 1-bedrooms was 750.
Right.
So they're not that big. And we just showed y'all I mean, everything's kind of like right there. So from the bedroom, of course, you're going to hear somebody knocking on the door. If you're talking the outside door.
Let me ask y'all. This is something I don't know if we even discussed this. Do you think the little girl ever had any interaction with the young guy?
I think so. Because we know that they gave her a birthday party. She just turned 11. That's another detail you guys need.
11, right.
She just turned 11.
Mm-hmm. It was 2 weeks ago. They had a birthday party with the neighbors in the neighborhood who knew about Maria and her dad.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know exactly how many people that was, whether it was indoors, whether it was outdoors, but there was a birthday party for her.
And then let's not forget to mention that Maria and her dad had only been there, what, like 3 months?
3 months, right. Sure. Correct.
Only 3 months, which puts which puts them there in around Mayish.
Bashment. Mm-hmm. Sounds like the person was trying to enter, not to get the kid to open the door.
Possibility.
Yeah. Because understand this. When I first heard the story and you know, we got to pulling out some of the details. One of the things that I told John and them, I'm like, look, I said, I can't get past the door. The door bothers me because if dad left for work, think about this. If dad left for work, I mean, I would assume he locked the door. Who's going to leave their, that door? Who's going to leave their 11-year-old daughter home alone without locking the door? It didn't make sense to me. And it still don't.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to take that comment down.
Oh, I'll take it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the door. This is Maria's door. The outside now, right? And one of the details that they gave us was the fact that there was no forced entry. So with that being said, if we're to assume that dad left and locked the door, then whoever got in, I mean, what, had a key? Had a key to get in there? Or he didn't lock the door?
Or he didn't lock the door.
It's three. Those two y'all just said. Or did she open that door?
Did she open it? And not only that, yep, you're right about that. Not only that, was she actually there alone? I mean, because one of the, you know, we found out a couple things about this place, because this is where a lot of like illegal immigrants, undocumented, this is where they go. This is where they live.
Right.
So,
the majority of them who lived at the complex is from Guatemala.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me look at this one.
So we wanted to take a careful look at the locking mechanism, the doorknob, and any evidence of tampering.
Right.
And these doors, when they have top bolt locks, like you see to the picture to the right, I'll just bring it back up. Picture to the right, you've got a deadbolt up top, and then you've got the door handle and locking mechanism down below it. And I said, well, what is these scratch marks here? I'm looking for any kind of evidence of some kind of an entry if they didn't have a key to open up the door.
Right.
And then taking a look at the picture to the left now. You can see it from a different angle where the door matches and seams to the frame, adheses to the frame. And in this picture here, it does look somewhat either cracked open or just not closed all the way. But we wanted to examine this door for any kind of forced entry.
Right. Or could this be, they call them weather strips.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? To
That
keep
gray
the air out.
weather stripping. Right.
Yeah, because it could be that. Like we might be looking at a closed door. I'm sure we are a closed door, but that's the weather stripping.
Right.
But that's what they told us. There was no forced entry. So
now it begs the question: if there was no forced entry, what happened?
How did he get in there?
How did he get in there? Right.
You know, how did he get in there?
Did he walk in because the door was unlocked? Did she open up the door herself voluntarily, not knowing who it was that was at the door, curious enough to open the door and then find out? Or did Maria know who it was and allowed them in? What ploy, what tactic was used to get into this apartment with her? Because we found out that there was a detail about coffee in the apartment. It was spilt out on the couch and on the floor. Was an 11-year-old drinking coffee? Wait a minute. But little details like that, you begin to think, okay, there is someone there. There's someone else there.
Right.
Inside the apartment with her.
Right. And so we want to show y'all the press conference. Because
I wanted to show them also before we jump to that.
Okay.
The inside of that door. Now, this is the opposite side inside the apartment. Now, you've got a deadbolt up top. It's a twist deadbolt. You turn it once, it locks it tight. Down below it is the handle with that little push mechanism locking. These are two simple locks.
Right. So then, right. And so then it was like, okay, did he just lock the bottom lock and leave?
Right.
Because you can get in them. Look, I didn't have to break into my house a couple times. Okay. And so if it's just locked on the bottom, you could use a ID or a credit card or something to get in. You don't need a key.
Right. And that,
I've been locked out a couple times. Which is
that
now why
lock, I'm sorry, 54. Go ahead.
No, my bad. No, I was saying I've been locked out of my house a couple times, which, you know, at some point, that's when I was like, you know what? Let me make sure my mama got a key. Let me make sure my brother got a key. You understand what I'm saying? Just so I won't have to go through, you know, breaking and entering into my own home. You know, that kind of thing.
And here's the interesting part, that lock on the bottom. It's been notorious that if you use some kind of a credit card, a very sturdy plastic type of card, and you can get between the seams of the frame of the door and the door itself, that bottom lock is notorious for slipping. And it does deploy the lock mechanism to open it.
Right.
I've witnessed it done a number of different times. And so when I saw that lock, I said, oh, damn, it's one of those cheap locks. But when I saw the deadbolt, I said, well, okay, are we talking about both of these items being locked or just one? And if it was just the bottom, okay, I've got questions about that.
Yes, I have that part of that.
I did too.
Yeah. No, but I mean, this door was a problem for me. And then when I started to go back through her voicemail, I was wondering, I'm wondering if she's saying, because we initially thought that she was meaning somebody was knocking on the outside, you know, like from the hallway, outside the door. But then I was like, what if she's talking about her room door? Because I couldn't understand what alarmed her to even call her daddy. you know, what we found out was that she got family over there. Anybody could have been at the door knocking. So what alarmed her or scared her to the point to where she like, let me call my daddy? Could it have been that she wasn't referring to the outside door? She was referring to her bedroom door. Like somebody's knocking at my door or touching on my door. Because that would scare the shit out of me.
Right.
If I'm supposed to be here by myself, I couldn't understand why she was so alarmed. Because like I said, this may have been the norm for them. He go to work, she stay there by herself till he get off. So just something to think about. But we, at some point, they gave the press conference. So we definitely want to touch on that a little bit.
Randy had made a comment before you began. I thought he was knocking on my door. I don't know. I haven't seen. I am here in the room.
Right. See, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
I'm with you, Randy. That's why that's why I was saying, is she telling him somebody's touching or knocking on my door? Meaning somebody's already in there.
Inside, right.
At the end of the day, they still had to get to that front door. Were they left in that room, in that house? Possibly. Or did they have a key? They had to get in that house some way because there's no evidence of you know, somebody breaking in.
Right.
So we gotta figure out from the jump how you got in it. Even if you were in there already, how did you get there?
How did you get in there?
Because I feel like if he would have kicked the door in, that would have made a lot of noise. That would have alarmed other tenants in the apartment complex. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I don't think he wanted to do that because that would have drawn attention to him and he would have got caught immediately.
Right.
Yeah, it would have most certainly alarmed anybody else that was in the building. Right. Being that the apartments were small, everything is in close proximity. So, yeah, that would have been a dead giveaway.
Right.
Yeah. We haven't found out exactly where, you know, the uncle lives and him and his wife. That's something that we haven't found that we're still trying to find. Because that's really important. But we're gonna show y'all some more information as we continue. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much more because I'd rather wait.
Yeah, so we'll stop. Yeah, we'll stop and start through this press conference, but y'all got to hear this because this is when they started to piece everything together. They were trying to put everything together.
Ready?
Yeah, we riding, baby.
Let's go.
And this is a press conference that was done 2 days ago.
And you said halfway through.
Yeah, they'll start speaking Spanish. Basically they're going to cover the Spanish version of it.
Okay.
At some point.
It'll be about the 13, 14 minute marker as they start to wind down. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Is everybody ready? Everybody's good. All right, we'll go and get started. My name is Josh Brugger, last name Bruegger. I'm the police chief here, city of Pasadena. Here today to provide an update on the murder homicide that we had last Saturday of 11-year-old Mariz Gonzalez at 1004 Main, apartment number 24. There's obviously been a lot that's happened this past week as we've been working this case. Before I get started, I'd be remiss not to recognize all the investigators and the officers that made the scene. As you can imagine, cases like this, especially involving children, not only is it traumatic for the victim and their family, it can also be hard on the first responders as well. And they have worked their tails off this week to get us to the point that we're at right now. A couple of things I just want to touch on. There's been a lot of talk this week about the maintenance folks out there, whether they've been cooperative, not cooperative, suspects, things like that. I just want to clear that up real quick and just say that the maintenance staff out there has been cooperative. At this point, there is no reason to believe that any of them have been involved. and as you all know, we've kind of gone a different direction with a person of interest. As investigators were processing the crime scene last Saturday.
Would you like to see how ChatGPT
Really?
helps us automate probably the simplest Amazon business that exists in 2023 in the next 3 minutes?
This is past. Yeah.
One thing they found was a key in the apartment. That key has been crucial in helping us move this case forward. The investigators, after processing the key, found out that the key did not go to the victim's apartment, and so started checking other apartments, and we found that it opened another apartment there in the apartment complex.
Okay, stop.
The first responders made the scene on Saturday.
Pause there for a minute. Let's talk about this for a second. So they found a key inside Maria's apartment. And what they learned was this key wasn't the key to her apartment. And they went around searching the other doors. Okay? So don't forget that. And this key opened one of the doors. But again, it wasn't Maria and them key. So don't forget that. Okay, boss, I'm sorry.
And the investigators followed them up, and they began interviewing neighbors in the apartment complex, other witnesses. And as part of that was the interview here of the person of interest. And this image that we're releasing today is a still image from our department's body camera system. So that's what he looked like Saturday when investigators contacted him. So that is a recent photo and what he looked like when they contacted him. It's been a struggle this week. Any investigation, we try to limit what we release to an extent, but also keep the public informed because we want to hold some stuff back for investigative reasons. As it happens every time, beyond our control, information gets released that we don't release. And so that's why I want to try to clear up anything that's out there. The victim was found in a trash bag in a clothes hamper under the bed. We had initially held that back, but that got out outside the organization. And so I just want to confirm that that is accurate. She was. We have turned over quite a bit of evidence to the Institute.
Okay, wait, stop there for a second, boss.
In Harris County, which process.
Okay, so understand this. She was found in a trash bag, 2 of them, right? Trash bag and in a laundry basket. Under which they told us what the details that we got was that she was found under her dad's bed. Okay, don't forget that. So she's wrapped in trash bags, put in a laundry basket, and stuffed under the bed, pushed under the bed.
That's very important for a couple of reasons, because she said she was in her room.
Her room. Yep.
What would make someone assault someone, kill someone, strangle someone, and then go put them in a different room? You feel what I'm saying? That don't make sense to me.
It don't. But then that goes back to the fact that we don't know if they had a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. Did her and dad share a room? Or did dad sleep in the living room and she had the bedroom? Or was there actually 2 bedrooms? We don't have that detail. Do anybody in the chat know?
It's a great question.
But she used my room, my door, so it made me feel like she had her own room, but I could be wrong.
This is all the DNA evidence, and so they've got that. I will say we have a DNA sample from our person of interest on Saturday when investigators were out there as part of the investigation. So we do have something to compare to. So at this point, we're waiting on DNA to come back. No arrests have been made. This 18-year-old Juan Carlos Garcia Rodriguez is a person of interest. He was living there in the apartment complex. He was last seen in the apartment complex at 4 p.m. Monday. His whereabouts are not known. We've been asked several times over the last 24 hours if we had concerns that he was fleeing to Mexico. I don't have any information that he is fleeing to Mexico. He is Guatemalan, so his whereabouts are unknown.
Okay,
that's what we're asking for the public.
Okay, so here's the thing. So they're telling us that they have a person of interest, right? And up until they collected DNA on Saturday, which was August the 12th. And then up until what, Monday, they said?
Right.
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Then all of a sudden he gone. Can you show that picture of him real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. This was a photo that was taken by police body cam during the Saturday interview that they had conducted the members of the community concerning what happened. And here we have Juan Carlos Garcia Rodriguez sitting on a bed. And if you go back in your mind to the photographs that 54 Keys had shown you in that living room area, you know, there is a section where he is and where this bed is located. And that's between the living room. And if you go way up into the corner where that chair is, on the right-hand side of him, that is a seam line that enters the kitchen area. Oh, and you can see the different colors, coloration between the wood floor and then the kitchen linoleum.
Mm-hmm. I'm pulling it back up. My bad.
Flower Bloom, he was never arrested until today. You know, at this point, the picture that you're seeing, this was just, you know, detectives canvassing the neighborhood, questioning people.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, you know, at this point, they're questioning all the neighbors and things like that and getting DNA samples. Now it's time to eliminate people or find the suspect. So he was never in jail. Ready?
Yeah, I just wanted to show them something real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Take your time.
Your time.
If we go back to that picture of him. And I want, you know, when we was looking at the picture and I'm like, what kind of bed is this? Ain't no bed frame or nothing on it, okay? It's a mattress, and then what? I mean, is that a brick? Like, is it a fold-out bed? Is it bars up under there, up under his foot, by his foot?
Look, it's like it does look like a bed that came out of the sofa or something, but it might be, they call it a bunk.
Or a
right, it is a bunk bed, yeah.
A futon. Is it a futon?
Well, almost like a futon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a rollaway bed.
Oh. And then
they take pictures of it.
Right. Okay. Folding. Okay. Lovely. Okay. And then notice right next to him, there's 2 cell phones. Look like 2 phones right there.
Over to the right side of his shoulder, you can see 2 independent cell phones there.
Yeah. And then, like I said, there's the there's that chair right there, and it looked like that might be the dining area, because when you look at the floor right there where the chair sits, you could tell where. Here, let me show you. Okay, can you take that off the screen for me real quick?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. You could see, matter of fact, let me go back to it. It was another one. Right here. You see how there's like linoleum. There's the wood floor that would indicate that this is the living room, and then the kitchen floor is different.
Right.
So that bed is sitting in the living room. I was like, how they living over there? The bed in the living room. Like, how they living over there? You know? Yeah, like, so then when you go back to the picture, now look at it again. Let me pull up the other one. Now look at it again.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
This is the one, right? Nope.
No.
We had to.
Oh,
that one.
There we go. It's a different color.
Yeah. So the bed in the living room, correct?
Right.
Am I correct? Everybody, y'all
Yeah.
see? Am I tripping or?
I agree, 100%.
You're not tripping.
So
Bless has 3 roommates.
Yep, sure does. And we can continue on with the press conference. We just wanted to show y'all that was our observation. And I'm like, this bed in the living room.
Uh-huh.
Like, how they living? You know? So yeah, my bad. Okay, I'll take that
No,
down.
you good. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Public's help. I think there's, a chance somebody knows where he's at. And if they do, we're asking that they reach out to us, either the department or Crime Stoppers, which is offering a reward for information that leads to his arrest. And I'm going to let Andy Comm, Crime Stoppers, come up here in a few minutes and talk. But our investigators, armed with new information, would like to talk to him again to try to get more information. And that's where we're at right now, and I will take any questions that you might have.
So the key, did it go to the apartment that he was staying in?
Correct, it did. Yes.
What can you tell us about investigators' conversations with him 2 days ago?
He didn't have a lot of information, just that, he lived in the complex, was familiar, but nothing really at the time, nothing that, stood out at the time. Investigators went back out there a couple days later to talk to some other people that also live in that apartment.
Did you know that you could get $50,000 to over $150,000 of investment capital?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay.
I say evasive with investigators. Didn't necessarily pay attention to the investigators when they were out there and they were talking to the other roommates. That's what I can tell you about.
How many other roommates?
There's 2 other roommates.
Are they family members or who was he living?
He did not. He'd only been there 3 or 4 weeks. Try to keep it, easy for you. They're all from Guatemala, and so it was a connection of, hey, I got a friend that needs somewhere to stay, and so he was living with these folks.
Now I want to stop it right here for a second because this is something I paid attention to. Okay, it says a friend said, "Hey, he needs a place to stay."
Mm-hmm. A friend.
A friend.
It said a friend told him, okay.
So somebody knows this guy. We're gonna get a little further because there's another detail that comes out in another report that tells you who wanted this guy to stay with these people.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna continue. I just want to point that out because I just caught that.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 to 4 weeks. They didn't really know him that well. Because again, it was somebody asking if he could stay with them. And so, they worked during the daytime, kind of went their own ways and did their own thing.
Okay, stop it for a second.
Give an example of it.
We do.
So he's living with 2 roommates. So it's 3 of them in this apartment. He said that when he spoke to the roommates, they said, look, we don't really know him. So then again, it went back to how the hell they living over there? Like, so they just said, no, you go stay with them. That was weird to me because they like, we don't really know him.
So that even gives me this question. The people that this friend is listening to, do they know him or do they trust his word to allow this kid to come live with them? Hey, let him live with y'all. Obviously, they trust this guy who's telling him to let him live with them because I ain't gonna let somebody I don't know live in my house.
And not only that, give him a key. If you're gonna be here bunking, I might let you sleep on the couch, but I ain't giving you no key. I don't know you like that. But he had a key, which is the key that he left when he did what he did to Maria.
But guess when he got the key? The day he committed the crime.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, let's continue. Yeah.
Does he have any kind of vehicle or?
Not to our knowledge, he doesn't. At this point, everything we know, he's been picked up and taken places by people. So somebody knows where he's at.
Did he say that he knew the victim? Did he admit in any?
I don't want to talk about that right now.
We don't know if they crossed paths or.
They lived in the same area is all I'm going to say. The apartments are pretty close to each other. So He could have seen her if they were, if she was outside at the same time he was outside because they're that close to each other.
In terms of the timeline, whenever you guys got that key and figured out it went to the apartment he's staying at, can you give me a timeline of when that happened compared to when you guys spoke to him?
It was after he had already left on Monday.
When the DNA sample was taken, was he a person of interest?
He wasn't. So as the investigation goes on, oftentimes the investigators will, if people are, voluntarily, give it to, especially people that are in the area, because one of the things that's important is, we'll be able to eliminate people just as, somebody's DNA where it shouldn't be. So it's important that we were able to exclude people as well.
I'm sorry, can you just clarify on that timeline? When did you figure out the key went to that apartment?
It was after he left on, it's been the last couple of days. I don't know. No, I just know it was after he left on Monday.
So he wasn't under any kind of surveillance. You didn't believe he was a person of interest.
At that point, we had a wide net at that point. So at that point, he was not a person of interest. Not anymore. Not any more than anybody else that lives in the complex.
Given that he could have moved the last few days, is his picture now out with other law enforcement agencies that you guys?
Yeah, yes, and we've also, if he were to cross the border, we've asked to be notified as well. So.
Was his DNA found on the key?
They have not processed that yet.
But, and I have to ask about the key. When you found the key, how long did it take you to go try it out?
It was a couple days later, just as part of processing the evidence. I can't tell you exactly when, but as part of processing the evidence, I'm not sure exactly when that was done.
Would that mean that every single door was tested or just a particular?
We didn't have to get very far. I'll just say that.
Okay, stop. Okay, listen. Did you hear the question? She said basically, like, did it take y'all long to figure out? She said, did y'all try all the doors? And he said, look, just know that we ain't have to go far.
Right, because they started right in that part.
I would assume that they started right where she lived.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's saying, without trying to give out too many details, look, we ain't have to go that far.
Now, this is a question, as I was listening to, this is a question that there's a room came in my head. How did they know he was gone? If he wasn't originally a person of interest, how did they find out he was gone? If they questioned a lot of people, got DNA samples from a lot of different people in this neighborhood, how they know this guy left?
Yeah.
Did somebody snitch on him?
Right.
Well, you figure if the police had the key, which they found at the crime scene, went back, started trying doors with this key and found out what door it opened.
Right.
They knew who to talk to going back.
Right.
And we know that there were 3 people in that apartment.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, all 3.
I'm thinking, okay, when they went back and only were able to talk to 2, I'm sure they asked about, well, where's the other one? Right. And they probably told them right there, oh, well, he gone.
He gone.
He done.
He gone, And not only that, another detail was the fact that they found DNA on Maria.
Mm-hmm.
They found it. So, yeah. So don't forget that detail.
As far as we know, in the United States, he does not have a criminal history. Absolutely.
How long has he been in the U.S. for, and where else has he lived?
He's from Guatemala. I know that Customs and Border Protection encountered him back in January out in the El Paso area. Is the last that I know of. I don't know of any other contacts that they might have had with him, but that's the last one that I know of.
Did he come straight to Texas?
I don't know his route here. I just know that back in January he was apprehended by CBP.
You know the father? They made the father of the.
No, they don't. To my knowledge, they do not know each other.
Excuse me. You describe him as dangerous, but he's described also as a person of interest at this point, not a suspect.
Right.
What's keeping you from using that other word?
A little bit more evidence. I tell you, we're pretty close, but not quite there yet. Because if he was a suspect, we'd be at the DA's office getting a warrant. So.
Why is he considered a person of interest based on the evidence that's right?
Without going into too much of the evidence, the key is really one of the key pieces, plus some of the other witness statements that we have as far as his location and his whereabouts. The other two roommates still have their keys. You know, they tried to get the key back from him when he left, and he said, no, I'm gonna hang on to it. He didn't have the key. There was the key to that apartment in the victim's apartment.
Okay, stop. So he was getting ready to leave, and the roommates was like, where our key at? Where the key at? And he didn't give it back to him because he didn't have it.
Right.
And, and understand this, it was probably my bad, boss. I'm sorry.
You good. Go ahead.
I was about to say that was probably the first time he realized he didn't have it.
Bingo. That's what I was just going to say.
Oh, okay. All right. Think alike. We think alike, baby. You know, we've been riding for a minute. But that's probably when he thought, like, wait, where is the key? So he had to come up, you know, with something real quick. Like, I ain't giving y'all the key back. You know, because he ain't got it. Okay.
Hey, my understanding, he just said, I'm leaving, going to do work somewhere else. He cannot, for this offense, he cannot be arrested because there's no warrant for him. But we really want to talk to him.
So you're waiting for the DNA?
That's correct. Potentially or other evidence. I mean, there's still witnesses we're working through talking to try. We're obviously trying to move as fast as we can, but also there's a legal process that we got to follow. And so we may get there, may get to a probable cause level before DNA. It's just going to depend on tracking down some more witnesses and trying to confirm some more information.
So you only had a couple days to go public with this. The day that you did was the day after you skipped town. Was that sort of the catalyst?
No, the catalyst was her autopsy wasn't done until Monday. And so once we had that information to know more of what happened and to be able to be informed when I come, you know, give information, that's why we released it on Tuesday.
So he was one of how many people that were interviewed on Saturday?
For just $67.
There's a bunch. You know, you got family members, you've got, you know, family members, you got other neighbors. And so, I mean, there's at least 10 people that were interviewed as part of it.
But the DNA samples were taken an approximate amount of people?
I don't know the number. I don't know. To my knowledge, everybody that we've talked to so far has been cooperative. So I'm going to say somewhere in that, yes. His roommates have been very cooperative, yes.
Is he here legally in the United States?
I believe he is not here legally.
And he might have been here 3 to 4 months in Houston, not in the United States.
My understanding is he was in Pasadena for about 3 to 4 weeks before he left on this week. Before that, he was in Louisiana. My understanding, when he was released by immigration, he was released to some sponsors in Louisiana. And when he was there, they're the ones who reached out to some connection that they had here about him coming here for work and needing a place to stay.
The El Paso encounter, do you know when that happened?
January. I don't know the exact date, but in January sometime.
So what happened in January?
Day laborer.
Yeah, I believe he was, I guess, they called him in January, you know, as a legal immigrant. But one thing they don't want to do is have to, you know, do the paperwork. And I was actually watching several cases about this type of stuff. And I seen, you know, them catch these immigrants who come over here illegally, and they let them go. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe somebody can explain that to me, but they let them go a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had encountered Border Patrol out of El Paso.
Okay.
So, you know, they handled it, I guess, the way they saw fit. and just allowed him to, go free, be on his own recognizance. He wasn't going to Mexico. He's from Guatemala. So, okay, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And there's some key information that we just heard. We're going to begin tying this case in together after this part of the press conference, because then it begins to make sense. Because last night when we covered the case to put together for you to present to you here tonight, one of the things that we discussed, well, where would he go? Where would he go?
Right.
So you're either going to go forward to some new location, or you're going to go backwards to where you come from.
You said that too.
Yep.
Right.
You see, you're either going to go to where you're familiar, or you're going to go into unfamiliar territory. Now, him knowing what he did to Maria, knowing how he left the situation concerning the roommates, the key that obviously he left at the crime scene.
Right.
He's in a state of panic.
Yep.
He's not thinking. His head is spinning.
And then he a fresh 18.
18 years old. Yep.
So where are you going? Was the question. Where was he gonna go? Okay. Yeah. So we'll get through this.
Baton Rouge area.
Have you guys made contact with that sponsors?
We have not yet. No.
Provide his age earlier. You say 18?
He is 18 years old. That's correct.
We spoke to the mother today, Mari's mother in Guatemala, and she obviously was very distraught and asked her what her message to the public here was, and she was begging everyone in law enforcement from Pasadena to upper federal government agencies
right.
to do everything they can to find whoever did this. What would be your message to her?
My message is we're doing everything we absolutely can to bring whoever this is to justice, to answer for this. This is a horrific crime. We're leaving no stone unturned. The men and women in the back have been working tirelessly all week because this case is important to us.
So how many days more to get the results of DNA?
That's going to depend on the Institute of Forensic Sciences. I don't have an answer for you on that. They know the facts of this case. They know the urgency of this case, but I also know Harris County is a large county with, a lot of stuff going on. And so, we'll see, but I do know this is a priority for them.
Are you asking any other agencies, U.S. Marshals, anybody to try to see if this guy is already in Mexico like you?
We have reached out to our federal partners. He is flagged with DHS, so we will know if he crosses the border. They will alert us if he crosses.
And so, John,
if he were to.
When we heard this part of the conference,
you
was like, oh, they got him red flag. They flagged it.
Right.
Like, he ain't gonna be able to leave. Is that correct? What happens
correct.
when you
Yeah, whenever a red flag goes out on an individual, that pretty much gives law enforcement the ability to lock up the state, cover Port Authority entrances and exits or points of access there, airports, shelters, any place they know that he would try to move about, and they covered locking the state down. So if he goes into another state, crossing the line, then the red flag covers that. Now you can easily activate federal law enforcement, because now you're dealing with a fugitive crossing state lines, and especially a person of interest.
Right.
And,
they boxed him in.
Yeah.
Right. And if anybody's been following us and following the cases we've been working, where else did this happen? It happened in another case that we worked. Y'all remember?
What?
Where they had to red flag someone so they don't leave the country.
You talking about Shanquella?
Bingo.
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 Dejanay.
Yep.
Like, you better come back over here.
The whole 6. But yeah, I just wanted to see if anybody remember that because that was said.
Yeah.
I think this is about to end shortly, so let's finish off here.
Okay.
Intent to cross, there's nothing to stop them from letting them do so, or
Depends on. I don't know about a federal immigration because he is in the country illegally that they could possibly detain him on that. But as far as detaining for this offense, that's correct. At this point, no. And like I said, we're working hard to.
But there's a search. That was my question. There's a search for him from other agencies.
Yes.
Prior to this time at the apartment, do you know where he stayed?
He was in Baton Rouge, is my understanding, with whoever the sponsors were when he was released from immigration, and then he came from there directly to here, is my understanding.
what part of Guatemala is he from? Do you know? Is it from where the?
I don't know the answer to that. The sense I'll get, I'll tell you just from talking to the investigators in the complex up there, there seems to be a connection. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody from Guatemala, and so they are a tight knit community.
We don't think he knew the Gonzalez in that.
To my knowledge, no.
So he said this is the type of community where somebody knows somebody knows somebody. Right?
Yep.
And it's made up of undocumented immigrants, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
So now coming from where we are now and going back to our map work, him leaving this location that Monday when they had found out he left at 4 p.m. in the afternoon when they went back to talk to the roommates and he wasn't there. Now knowing that the key that they found at the crime scene fits the door. As a vital piece of information, and I think God played a very, very important role.
Absolutely.
In allowing that piece of information to lead to him as quickly as it did. As quickly as it did. What if they didn't find the key? What if they didn't go back to open up the doors, check everybody's lock?
Yeah.
None but God.
What if that didn't happen? Where would they be today with the case?
Right.
So my hat's off to the Pasadena Police Department, law enforcement officials, detectives, search and rescue crew, and all the emergency crew that were involved.
Absolutely.
Our hats at the roundtable are tipped over into your favor. You guys did a magnificent job in the time frame that it took to really, get this case to where it is today. Because what we're about to show you coming up really begins to tie in all the information that we just shared with you here tonight.
Right.
Just remember, this happened last Saturday. What the day is?
Saturday the 19th.
It just took them a week. Days. Yeah, just a week.
Yeah, a whole 7 days. They was moving fast, man. Kudos to them.
Salute.
And that guy, this guy right here. So y'all make sure y'all know who we talking about. This right here was taken off the body cam of the police officer when they talked to him the first time. After they spoke to him there, they went back, and that's when the roommates was like, he gone. But this was the first time that they spoke to him. They caught him on the body cam. This is the footage right here. So when he left, John, can you take us? We riding, baby.
Okay, so when he left, it was found out as quickly early this morning. Boss had left me a voicemail message.
Yep.
And it was a good one. It was a real good one. I said, what?
Daddy.
Coming from 54, say, boss. I said, uh-oh, I know what this is going to be.
Yeah. So in tracking and trying to get a trace as to Shreveport, in Louisiana, Shreveport, thank you, in Louisiana, as a son of a gun. He went backwards.
Yep.
Now, who's in Louisiana? Hence the sponsors.
Sponsors, exactly.
He went running back to them, hoping that they could what?
Probably get him back home.
Or send him out to a different location, just like they sent him here at 1004 Main Street. So we tracked that, and get ready, buckle up, because we're going to take you where they caught him. 250 miles away, cross state lines in Louisiana.
Now, how you think he got there? Because that's a lot of mileage.
It is. He called it right.
Yeah. Did he have a car?
Now, somebody helped him.
Did somebody take him?
Somebody helped him.
He couldn't have walked. He'd have still been walking right now.
For real.
Right. In a short period of time. We got Monday, today's Saturday. This dude is in transition. He's traveling. And somebody, or however he did it, he got across state lines. And with the red flag put down by the Pasadena Police Department, which was a good move, they were able to catch him in short order.
Kay, you said what I said. Kay said the sponsors are the plug. They are.
For real.
They are. I said the same thing. They the plug. They the connect.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, 54, because I know, man, you was talking about, we was on the father, we was on the uncle. You remember I was bringing up their demeanor in those interviews?
And I wanted to show it, but it's in Spanish.
But now I know, being that what we just heard, the uncle was the one who recommended that those guys take this guy in. And I'm pretty sure the father knows that. Like, he want to put them paws on him right now.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like now that we hear that, that's why that when we see them in the interview together, that's why they look like distant, even though they were sitting right next to each other. I think that father was hitting.
I was about to say, do you have that video? Because we can play it and put the captions on. And then we got some people in the chat that speak Spanish, but but I do want them to see what you're referring to.
Okay. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, just so we don't lose them and they understand who we talking about. Because I got his picture over here.
I believe this is it, right?
So in going to Shreveport. Shreveport. I keep calling it Shrives. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. You riding right now. It's all right.
Yeah, Shreveport. He probably got on a bus. Ended up at the bus depot. And
I wonder if his appearance is gonna look different. Are we gonna get a mug shot with him with his hair cut short or with a fade or something?
Yeah, or even blue hair.
That kind of thing. Say the Blues Clues.
Blues Clues, right?
Just let me know you want me to put it up there. I found it.
Yeah, you can go right ahead.
All right.
Okay. So this video right here, it's a really good video, y'all. It's in Spanish, so don't trip. Right? It's in Spanish, but there's closed captions, and it only lasts like 2, almost 3 minutes. For those who speak Spanish, if you can, translate in the chat, give us updates in the chat while it's playing. But there's a part in here where the father and the brother is interviewed, and we'll stop when we get there. But yeah, we definitely want y'all to see this because we had the guest that we'll be having up here in a little bit. We had him break down this video for us and what was being said. Kudos, shout out to him.
There we go.
Estas imágenes fueron grabadas hace solo unos días, cuando Mariz Gonzalez cumplió 11 años de edad. Hoy su padre está llorando la violenta muerte de su querida hija, a quien había traído desde Guatemala, en busca de una vida mejor.
¿Cuál era su objetivo para hacerme ese daño? Peormente a una niña pequeñita.
La niña fue encontrada muerta dentro de su departamento, donde hace apenas 2 meses se había mudado. Momentos antes de su muerte, su padre, quien la había dejado sola para ir a trabajar, dice que la encontró sin vida. Asegura que la pequeña se había comunicado con él por teléfono, alertándolo que alguien tocaba la puerta.
Pues alguien estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto, yo estoy aquí en el cuarto, estaban tocando.
Que alguien estaba tocando la puerta. Y yo le respondo, pues no le abras porque yo ya apenas estoy llegando. Toda la sala había regado azúcar, el sofá todo movido. Intentó defenderse mi pobre niña.
Y lo han abrocado la ropa ahí y en la canasta metieron a la niña. Y metieron una bolsa y metieron debajo de la cama.
Las autoridades
Okay, stop it
confirmaron
right
los
there
resultados.
for a second. Now, what y'all need to understand is the guy that y'all just saw in that interview was him. This is the brother. So this would be Maria's uncle. And he's in that interview with the dad. Okay. He's in that interview with her father, him. So don't forget his face. Okay.
Debajo de la cama.
Las autoridades confirmaron los resultados del médico forense. Muestran que la menor murió estrangulada y que también fue violada sexualmente.
Nuestros detectives están buscando pues, evidencia, ¿verdad? Dentro del apartamento de quienes pudieron haber estado ahí, evidencia de ADN.
La pequeña vivía con su padre y se había mudado a este departamento para estar más cerca de otros familiares. Desde la aldea de Guatemala, donde vive con su otra hija, la madre de la pequeña, María, pide justicia y espera su cuerpo para darle el último adiós.
Lo único que yo quiero pues es que hagan justicia con mi niña y que me ayuden a traer el cuerpo y que la persona que hizo también que se arrepiente y que Dios lo perdone todo lo que hizo.
Aquí en Houston, vecinos están consternados con este crimen. En Guatemala, un abuelo recuerda la última conversación que tuvo con su nieta, a quien esperaba ver muy pronto.
En octubre voy a llegar, voy a estar allá junto con mi hermanita. Esas son las únicas palabras que ella me dijo 3 días antes que sucediera ese caso.
Saludamos a Paco Cuevas afuera de la...
Okay, yeah, that's all we needed. That's all we needed because we wanted to make sure we highlighted the brother, which is him. This guy. Okay? So, you know, we about to share an update with y'all and y'all gonna understand why, you know, which boss has already alluded to it. You know what I mean? But,
my fault.
Oh no, you good. We riding, baby. But this news clip sums it all up. It sums it all up.
Here's the update. Just in today, the update on this case unfolds and gives us exactly what we were looking for.
Girl sits in a jail cell in Shreveport. 18-year-old Juan Garcia Rodriguez was arrested this morning and awaits extradition back to Texas. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Barajas. 11-year-old Mariz Gonzalez was found dead under her bed last Saturday. Investigators say she'd been sexually assaulted, then strangled. The suspect was allegedly her neighbor at the Main Village Apartments in Pasadena. He was arrested today about 250 miles away in Shreveport. Our Corley Peel joins us from the apartment complex where she spoke with the suspect's roommate. Corley.
Yeah, this is a...
Pay attention.
I wanted to pause it here because this is critical. This begins to tie everything together.
Yep.
As this reporter shows us the door that we've been talking about tonight, pay careful attention as to how she moves, because this was critical to this whole case.
Absolutely.
The door to Mariz Gonzalez's apartment, and just steps away from here is the apartment that Juan Garcia was staying in. I spoke with his roommate who says that Maria's uncle recommended that he stay with him, but no one ever imagined that he would be suspected of killing her. For 2 days.
Uh-oh. Really? Really? Right across the hall.
Well, the police chief said they didn't have to go very far.
Right. So all they had to do was check the doors in the building. And they probably went to that door first, since it's across the hall.
Yeah, that's right, Rhonda.
But understand this. The uncle, Y'all just heard what she said.
Yeah. Shia B said, what?
Right. That's what I said, Shia. The uncle suggested that this guy stay there. Now, here's the thing. Now, the uncle lives there on the property, along with, I'm assuming, wasn't his wife? Because they said it was the brother and the sister-in-law.
Yes.
So you got your own apartment. Why he couldn't stay with you? You understand what I mean? Why he couldn't stay with you? Why did you have to send this guy across the hall?
His wife wasn't having it.
You said what?
His wife wasn't having that.
I
mean, we don't know their family structure and if they got kids or how many kids they have. They have young kids, but I think the wife said, "Heck no, you better send them somewhere else."
Interesting. But the uncle is who suggested that he move in over there. Okay, John, I'm done. I'm done. My bad.
2 days, Juan Garcia's roommate says he didn't realize he was living with a suspected killer. He asked to remain anonymous.
Yo lo dejé entrar aquí, pues yo le di posada, pues.
Police captured Juan Garcia in Shreveport, Louisiana. Police say he strangled and sexually assaulted 11-year-old Mariz Gonzalez last Saturday afternoon. Garcia's roommate says he wasn't home at the time of the murder.
Si no estuviera él, yo no lo voy a permitir.
Investigators say Maria was home alone and alerted her father someone was knocking on the door while he was at work. Police say he came home to find her body wrapped in plastic inside of a laundry basket that was placed under the bed. This photo of Garcia shows him sitting on his bed in his apartment while police spoke with him. His roommate says police took both their DNA samples.
Por el momento yo no sabía nada, pues.
On Monday, Garcia told his roommate he was leaving for a job out of town. His roommate says he made him a copy of the apartment key and asked Garcia to leave it since he was leaving. He says Garcia told him that he planned on coming back, so he would hold on to the key. Police say the key was left inside Maria's apartment and was found after her murder. Detectives didn't have to go far to learn the key matched the lock to Garcia's apartment right next door. Maria's father is now fighting for justice in Pasadena, while her mother grieves from Guatemala.
Destrozada porque perder a un hijo sí duele bastante.
Yeah, Maria's family sent out a statement today saying that this arrest does bring them some peace, and they say they are grateful for the law enforcement, everyone who contributed to capturing Garcia. Now, he's expected to have a hearing on Monday, and he will be extradited back here to Texas. We'll keep you updated on that. But coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear how this is just the beginning of a long road to justice for this family. Reporting.
This sad. This is sad. That boy stayed right across the hall. And then it went back to, remember I asked a question because, and I don't know if we covered this or not, but when the dad got the message from her, from Maria, that was at about 10. At some point, he sent the brother and the sister-in-law over there to check on her. And what they reported back to him was, we went over there, the door was unlocked, and she wasn't in there. They didn't find her.
Right.
So the brother and the sister-in-law went over there and couldn't find her. So, yeah. I mean, oh, man.
And that was, I believe that time was around 1 p.m. that afternoon.
And it bothered me because what we know is that the father finished his shift. His shift wasn't over until 3. That's when he, oh man.
Yeah.
I guess it bothered me because if my child would have called me like, look, somebody at my door touching my bedroom door, whatever, because I'm gonna be honest, I think she was referring to her own bedroom door. And maybe her dad just didn't understand that part. He thinking that it's a guy outside the door. You know, that's just my opinion. But he sends the sister, the sister-in-law and the brother over there. They reported back to him and said, look, when we got there, the door was unlocked and she's not in there. Why wasn't he alarmed then? Ain't no way in hell I would have finished my shift.
Right.
No
I got
way.
to go. I got to leave.
I gotta go.
I'm sorry. I may have an emergency at home. Whatever. But that's why we looked at him so hard.
Yep.
At the very start of investigating this case.
I was on his ass.
Oh, yes, we were. Turned him inside out until additional details that we were able to dig into through Boss Blake too, because what really turned this into looking at it further was the news articles that he was able to find in Spanish, Telemundo, several others, and the idea of, okay, we need to get this translated, 54 Key said. Do we know anybody who is fluent in Spanish? Boss went to work, had some of the folks that he knows at work listen to a lot of the material that we presented here tonight, and they were able to give him some good understanding as to what was being said from the news articles that were in Spanish. We took it a step further and got together with a content creator on a different channel,
right,
to come in with us last night to also cover news articles that were in Spanish to confirm a lot of what we learned from the first interpretation.
Right.
So we dug hard to make sure that we understood the context of what was being said and how it should be understood. And it's a variation between English and Spanish, Spanish being much more expressive than English, because it's body language that's there that gives nuances,
right,
just like English does. But Spanish is has a bit more of a spice to it, a bit more flair to it than English does.
Right.
So we went that extra mile, and we had J-Rod on point, who happens to be Latin Puerto Rican, join us in a private conference last night to begin breaking down a lot of the news article clippings that were in Spanish and helped us out tremendously.
And Lovely said, much love to you, Lovely. She said, you think maybe the uncle and aunt were supposed to check on her ever so often? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that could have been the norm, where he leave her there and ain't really tripping because Annie and Unc live across the wall. And they just supposed to go over there, you know, maybe every, hour or so, make sure she good, take her some food, whatever.
Right, right.
But for me, I'm like, why didn't you just have her stay over there? Why couldn't she just go over there and stay? You know what I mean? Your people live right here. But like I said, that same reason could be why they said she good, he good. The father thought, look, she good. Annie and Unc across the wall. But it just, when I found out that the father sent the brother and the sister-in-law over there to check on her, I'm like, did they have a key? You understand what I mean? Did they have a key? How was they going to check on her if they didn't have a key, if he locked the door when he left? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shamina, that's what Shamina said. I'm confused. Did the perp have a key to their apartment? I asked the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, again, it goes back. I was stuck at the door, y'all. I couldn't get past the door. I'm like, I was confused on which door she was referring to in the voicemail. I was confused as to, even if she's speaking of her own bedroom door, how did he get past the front door? How did he get in? That's still the question. How did he get in there? And we heard about this one key, and I think at one point, John, I don't know if it was you, when we were talking last night about the keys. Like, it didn't sound like they found a key ring with like different keys on it. They found a single key.
That's key.
Yeah, like a key. So that's still the question. But they've arrested him now. He's caught.
Oh yeah, thank God.
He's caught. You know, Rondon with you. She said that something don't feel right.
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all think anybody else later on, before this investigation is over, will be arrested or charged with anything else?
If they're going to charge anyone else?
Anyone else with anything else, like maybe tied into what he was doing, like maybe, what they call it, accessory to a crime?
If I put my money on anybody, it's going to be Unc. Unc on my list. I'm on Unc ass, man.
Well, since they got him now, he could say whatever he needs to say.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. He might start singing like a bird.
That's right. Drop all the dimes that he needs to drop and help the police pull this whole story together even tighter than where it's at right now.
Because like we said earlier, he didn't get from Pasadena to Shreveport walking.
Right. Right, for sure. Wait a minute. Have you seen us podcast said, no, probably some of those apartments use the same key. My apartments are like that.
What?
But I put my own locks on. Remember I told y'all last night? Remember the story that I told y'all? And the thing of it is, I've worked at an apartment complex before, and one day we messed around and put one of the same locks on a different apartment. But the apartment complex was so huge, I'm gonna be honest, it is what it is. But we was just kind of like, don't worry about it. They don't know they got the same key. And so when I seen this comment right here, I'm thinking, I'm with you. Did they check all the other doors? Because it sounded like to me, based off of the police conference, where once they realized that it unlocked the one across the hall, maybe they didn't look no further. They need to check and see if that key let them in Unc apartment.
In other apartments, yeah. Talking about if the shoe fits, hey, the key fit.
But he looked guilty running. He ran though. Don't forget that part.
Mm-hmm.
They had to catch him 250 miles away. Running make you look guilty. So yeah, I don't know, but we need to get to speak your piece. I would love to hear from y'all, and we want to bring up J-Rod. Is J-Rod still with us?
I didn't actually see. Let's see.
Here,
there was another point I wanted to bring up too. Here is his booking information to confirm that he is in custody.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Fire Mama.
Yes, Fire Mama. Much love to you. And this gives you the whole booking itinerary here.
Mm-hmm.
And the probable cause statement: the above listed offender was arrested on a fugitive warrant.
Mm.
Once he crossed state lines, it made him a fugitive.
Mm-hmm. He was on the move.
Yeah, big time.
And not only that, look at his date of birth. 7/31/2005. He just turned 18. He ain't been 18 a whole 30 days yet. So then it takes us back to when John, when you were saying he met up with the sponsors in January. They knew he was undocumented, and he was a minor.
Right.
I mean, that part confuses me. It confuses me. And
the fact that he had just turned 18, now, he can go out independently, as he did, and go wherever he wants, being of the age of 18, and begin to, I guess, put some kind of a life together. get his documentation through immigration, he'd get his naturalization papers, all that stuff. And he was a young man in transition.
Right.
Ended up going to 1004 Main Street, got hooked up with 2 roommates that took him in, and only for him to turn around and to have done what he had did last Saturday to Mariz Gonzalez.
And don't forget about this point right here.
Yeah.
Unc was the one who set him up over there, who got him set up over there. For him to turn around and do that to your niece, oh man. And they charging him with capital murder. Okay. And I wanted to know, what's capital murder? What constitutes capital murder? And this is what we found. It's when a murder is committed with one of these additional criteria, one of these additional elements. We got the murder of an individual under 10 years of age, but we know Maria had just turned 11.
Right.
Okay. And then they got the person intentionally commits the murder in the course of committing or attempting to commit kidnapping, burglary, robbery, aggravated sexual assault, arson, obstruction or retaliation, or terroristic threat. And we already know that fits, because during the sexual assault, he killed her. This boy, man, listen. This big boy right here, because he big. He looked big to me.
It's a big 18. Big 18. Man 18. Man size 18.
Man size. He probably bigger than some of y'all in the chat. He a big boy. You know what I mean? And then we got her. Really? When Boss brought this story up, this did something to my soul. That's terrible. But she's the reason why we're here. So we gonna drop the link in the chat. John, had you talked to J-Rod?
I know that he knows that we are live. I'll send him a message to see if he would like to join us on the Speak Your Piece part. He did an excellent job in helping us get through a lot of the language barriers that we were facing and trying to cover the details, information in the case.
So I put the link in the chat. If anybody want to join us up here, we got another about 10, 15 minutes. So if anybody want to come up, speak your piece, because we riding for her. I really would like to hear from J-Rod, because he gave out some valuable information yesterday, and I enjoyed talking to him. Yep, that's right, Adam. Juan Carlos is only 18. And she was 11. She is. And I don't understand. Something's mentally wrong with him. I mean, really, she a child. And not only that, you did what you did. Put her in some plastic bags. Put her in a laundry basket and put her under her daddy bed. Really?
I want to continue these type of conversations and become a smoke system. Make sure you join the smoke system squad. They get it in.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
They get it in.
Yeah, we definitely do. And we'll talk about her behind the scenes too, but this was a terrible situation. And at the end of the day, she's a child. She's a child. He should be held to the full extent of the law.
Absolutely. I had just contacted J-Rod. I sent him the link by email and also text him. So if he's available, he'll be here. But much props goes to him. And Fire Model, thank you so much for the additional information that we got here tonight. And a lot of you that really chime in and hold the roundtable down in sending us this information.
Absolutely. You know, because again, we just want the details.
Absolutely.
You know, but I see that while we wait on J-Rod, because I really do want to make sure you know, we have him up here because, like I said, he provided some valuable information and understanding Spanish culture, their language. You know, that was huge for me, especially for me. You know, that was huge.
Right.
But it looks like we have Randy backstage.
Randy, okay. Randy's in the background. I just got a text message from J-Rod. He says, thank you all at the roundtable. He did say next time. I guess, you know, he's occupied right now. He did mention to us, great show and great coverage. Big shout outs to all of y'all work. Y'all did a great job. Thank you, 100.
Okay, perfect. Okay, much love to you, J-Rod. So we can go ahead and bring up Randy.
Randy's in the building.
Yep. And I'll drop the link again.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Randy?
Randy, what's up?
Oh man, I'm like wore out.
You got that microphone working tonight.
Does it sound good? Oh,
yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good. You move a little closer and you know, you sound like me.
I think I got a lot of echo.
Oh, okay. Sunflower says she wanted to hear the voicemail again.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could do that too. So,
yeah.
Randy, your thoughts?
Yeah, what's your thoughts, Randy?
Give me 1 second.
Definitely. Okay. And while you're doing that,
I was just about to say, yeah.
I'll find that clip.
Yep, it's right here. Here you go. Okay. Here you go, Sunflower.
All right.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
You hear it, Sunflower?
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
Maria said, yes, please. There's something weird with the voicemail. Okay, she said. Okay, Sunflower. Okay, she said, I thought they were knocking on the door. I was in the room and they were knocking.
I was in the room, meaning her room. And that's where she heard the knocking from.
Interesting. Maria said it sounds more like a conversation.
I agree. Because if you listen to the first clip and then the second clip, it almost seemed like the first clip person was talking to the second clip person. If you play it again, just listen to it and think about it.
Okay.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
That was just the second part.
Second part, okay.
Pensar que me estaba tocando la puerta. No sé, no he visto. Estoy aquí en el cuarto. Estaban tocando.
No, I'm saying all you did was play the second part. You didn't play the first part, the one that both of them plays.
That's it. That's both of them.
Yeah.
Yep, that's both of them. But here's the thing, and I think this is a detail that we didn't give. She didn't call him directly. She used what was it called, boss?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? I didn't understand what that was. And boss, you said that you just needed Wi-Fi, right? On WhatsApp. So she left this voicemail on an app calling out to her father. That part confused me. I'm like, did they not have cell service, or what's the point of using WhatsApp? Anybody in the chat use WhatsApp?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Maria.
Yeah, Maria Morales
she
says
was just answering
a question, right?
Right. You didn't get the question. You didn't get the first part. Is what I was trying to say. I only played the second part.
Yeah. So we're not hearing the other person. They only gave us what it sounded like to me is they only gave us the clips to her responses.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Now your mic is low, Randy.
Okay, Shawnee said it's free. She said it's free. You just need to be on someone's Wi-Fi, and it's cheaper to call country to country for free. Oh, interesting. Self-Paid said it's like a talk to speak message. Oh, okay. Magnetic, yeah.
Sounds like it's a conversation between two people.
Can't hear you, man.
Magnetic said she was answering her dad question. I believe that. Yeah. And we just don't hear that part.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't hear that part. We just hear her response.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, you sound a little better.
Yeah, like I was saying, it sounds almost like it's two people talking.
Yeah, like the first part sounded. I don't know. It just
sounds like
different.
It sounded like somebody asked her a question. She was answering.
Right. K Bless said that's not a voicemail. Just what that talk to speech.
Yeah, talk to speech. It's not voicemail. It's a talk to speech. You know how, nowadays you can text or you can just talk into your phone and send that message. That's what it is.
Because boss, let me tell y'all something. Boss, that's how he communicate with us. Like I be texting, right? I got my texting game on. Boss will just upload an audio clip. And you just hear him talking. So is that what y'all telling me this is? WhatsApp?
I mean, WhatsApp, you can actually call, you can text, and leave voice audio as a message.
Right.
So it does everything that you could do on your phone, but it has to be attached to Wi-Fi for it to work.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They have a lot of different apps that's like that, to be honest with you.
Right. See, I don't be doing all of that. That's too much. It's too much. I don't do all that. That's
I mean, it's for those people whose phone is turned off, or for those who don't want to pay no phone bill.
Right. So you mean to tell me I can get rid of my service and just get WhatsApp? Does it
but you can't use it unless you're near your Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to have a Wi-Fi connection.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, Rhonda said it works similar to the Facebook Messenger. Okay.
Right, correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I got it. See, learn something. I ain't know nothing about that. So Randy, what's your thoughts on this case? You got any questions about it?
I'm just glad that they found the dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, me too.
And that goes back to what me and John were talking about the borders needs to be a lot more secure.
But clearly, because this was a community of nothing but Guatemalans, undocumented. So they got places, it sounds like to me, where they can go. If they make it over here, we got somewhere for you to go. So would that mean that the landlord would have to be in on this? You know what I mean?
Question. Good question. Yes.
Because normally you have to fill out paperwork to be added to the lease, all that.
Well, they said that he was illegal.
Yeah, so he didn't have no paperwork. It was just word of mouth. It was a quiet type move. There was a key issued by the roommates to him, being that this was supposed to be some kind of a temporary arrangement, between him and them. So not until he lost that key, and he knew how he lost the key. That changed the whole scenario for him.
And I think that is why he left, because he noticed that he lost the key and he couldn't go back and get it.
Right. Miss Class said, look, I live here in Texas. These same immigrants are building these roads, businesses, and houses. Abbott knows exactly the immigration issue. Okay.
I mean, they over here working for a little or nothing, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Cash money.
Like that. There's a lot of tip services here in my city where, like, there are some Hispanics who came over here and got legalized, but they know that their people are still over here coming over here legally. So what they do is they create these tip services where they will hire them and they will pay them, and they send them off to these jobs. And let's say, for instance, the job want to pay their housekeeper $16 an hour. She, being that she's legal, she would take $2 from each one of their head. Now they get paid $14 an hour, and she get paid $2 from each one of their head per hour.
Oh, man.
Ain't shit they can do about it.
Oh, that's business right there. Okay.
Almost like a pimping service.
Being pimped out.
So it's like, you want to come over here and get this money, because you got to realize the U.S. dollar is more than where they come from. So if they can go back home or send this money back home, that's a lot of money compared to what they would make if they was just making that money in their country.
Right. And we looked that up. Do you remember what it was? It was like 13 cents on a dollar.
For every U.S. dollar at
like
$7.87. Yeah.
Yeah, $7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
$1 over there was what, like $7 and
$7
over here. I mean, over there. Okay. Interesting. So that's why they come over here, work, get this money under the table, and then they send money back home. Is that the object of the game?
Yeah, I mean, some of them actually try to come over here and get legal, but I don't know how that works. Like, you came over here illegal, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, the main thing is to come here, make money, and then send it back home, or make enough money to go back home and live comfortably or live rich. Because
or go the opposite way, bring your family out of that situation and make a life here in the United States. So it could have gone either way.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be smart, because
over
here trying to make a living over here. Now the cost of living here is higher.
Right. And that's why I feel like they put 3-4 people in one apartment so they can share the expenses. That's saving more money.
Bingo.
Right.
Hey, 54, what I did with a little voicemail or whatever it was, I done a screenshot of it, and then I put it in to where it translated what it said, and that's what it said in the message I sent you earlier.
Yeah,
I must not have seen it, but we did the same thing.
We did the same thing.
You look right here on the screen. We put it in Google Translate just to see what she was saying.
Well, where it says I, it's he.
He?
Yeah.
Well, you got two I. Okay.
I put it back in.
Okay.
Yeah, see, this was the other one. This is what confused us. That's why I was like, nah, we need somebody to translate this. We need somebody that speaks Spanish.
Okay, I just placed it in the chat. Let me place it backstage. That way you can see it.
And then this was the other one. John, did you show these earlier? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so it was pretty much like the same thing, you know, because again, we wanted to figure out what she said. You know.
Yeah, I placed it in private chat where you could see it.
Yeah, where it said, I thought he was knocking on my door.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's we had went over that because I'm like, my door. That's why I was saying maybe she was speaking of her own bedroom door, and that's what scared her.
Yeah.
You know, because if I'm home alone, but then I hear somebody fooling with my door handle, oh, we got a problem. That's a problem.
Did
I'm
she
supposed to be here by
and her
myself.
father have any roommates?
That's what we don't know.
We know that the suspect had 2 roommates.
Right.
But we need to know her and her father had any roommates.
Was anybody else in there with them?
Yeah, and see if there were any friends of his.
We have Diana Lopez. Thank you for making a comment. Tocando means knocking.
Okay.
Means knocking. Thank you, Diana.
Much love to you.
Oh, yes. See?
Google. Nisa Hana said Google Translate was off. Yeah, that it was throwing me. That's why I'm like, nah, we need somebody that speaks Spanish. We need somebody that speaks Spanish. I started to put up a post on my community wall.
Maria Morales. She just said there's a knock on my door, and I don't know who it could be.
See, the word "my" is bothering me.
Yeah.
Because
is
she
very
even
personal.
said, yeah, and she even says, I'm in my room. So, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, all these cases are just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, we appreciate that. But yeah, and like I said, that was a big deal to us. You know, is she saying my door, meaning her bedroom door, or is she speaking of the main entrance door? And up until last night, I thought they were speaking about the main entrance door. But after having that conversation, I'm like, if she's saying my door, maybe she's trying to tell her father somebody's in here, somebody at my bedroom door. Because she said that's where she was.
I dropped the link again just in case. Maria Morales, Diana Lopez, who's been helping us with the translation regarding specific words that were used and mentioned in that message. If you guys would like to, come up and, because like I said, Spanish is a very expressive language, and it has very completely different nuances in terms of how to understand it than English does. It's highly expressive. And so only another who would understand that expression could interpret what that expression is, more so than someone that doesn't even understand the language.
Right.
Yeah.
Miss T made a good point. Miss T said, if the one across the way was 2 bedrooms, meaning you're meaning the 2 roommates and Juan Carlos Juan, what's his name? I was calling him JC, so it's Juan Carlos. Okay, him.
Yeah, him.
Him.
Okay.
So if it's 2 bedrooms over there, then Maria apartment should have been 2 bedrooms. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because it appears that both those apartments were occupied on the top floor.
Right. Yep.
So you figure 1 bedroom would be downstairs and then 2 bedrooms would be upstairs.
Right. Or maybe even they had it separated by the buildings. Like 1 building ain't nothing but 1 bedrooms.
Right.
Maybe 4 buildings with 1 bedrooms and 4 buildings with 2 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That could be the lineup.
Interesting. Okay. It looks like we got. Oh, go ahead.
But that key was the key to this case. Think about it. That a small little item that was left at a crime scene changed the whole dynamic of the case. And then the police did their due diligence to go back and use that key to say, okay, well, we'll do it with this open. And found out how close to home they had to, they found what they were looking for.
Diana says she at work right now. We appreciate you tuning in, Diana.
Well, we do have Maria Morales.
Oh, I definitely want to hear from her.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Maria. Maria.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Maria.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Doing
much
good.
love to you.
Good, thank you. This is the first time I ever go live on anything, but and I'm shaking like a leaf.
No,
But
relax. You at the round table.
yes, I love you guys very much. I just listen to you guys, but I can't catch you guys on time. I had to kind of rewind a little bit so I could see what it was about before I caught up.
Oh, okay. I see what you. Okay, we appreciate you.
No problem. The reason I just wanted to clarify was that, yeah, the Google Translate, some things it kind of does help to get the gist of it. But on the conversation that she did say, there's not a he or him. She basically saying that there's a knock on the door and she doesn't know who it is. And then at the end, you could hear her say, like, está bien, like, okay. Like, I guess he answered back to her, like, don't open the door. And she said, okay. But there was no he. And it doesn't specify if it was front door or bedroom door.
Oh, okay. So do she not say somebody's knocking at my door?
No, that was a typo. My bad. She said están tocando a la puerta. So basically they're knocking at the door. Like there's a knock on the door, but I don't know who it is.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So and then at the end it says, okay.
Okay, so she understood that to mean the main door, the front door.
She's not specifying. She's just telling her dad, there's a knock at the door. I cannot tell who it is.
Right. Okay.
So there's really no saying unless he it depends on his conversation. You know what I mean? Right. Maybe we could get a little bit more understanding. But as of her, what she said, it doesn't specify if it was the front door or if it was the bedroom door.
Right. Okay.
And to me, that kid looks a little slow. I don't know if I don't know. I don't think he did it. I don't know. I kind of don't trust the uncle.
Right. You think maybe he was set up?
Possibly. I mean, the guy, I don't know. He just looks very, like not all there.
Right.
Like the way, I don't know, maybe the way he was standing and sitting down and everything, he just looked like his mind is probably not 18.
Right. Like he might look like 12, 13.
Yeah, like he's like childlike. He looks childlike in his look. To me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you figure
and maybe that's why he ran. He could probably run. He's probably scared.
Yeah.
But we don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you figure too, what ran through his mind after they swabbed him during this interview?
I don't know. Maybe he thought that I don't know. Maybe he got scared, probably set up or something. I didn't know he got swabbed though. I didn't see that part.
Well, they did say they did say they collected DNA from the roommates and him.
But they didn't say that he was the one though, did they? They just said that they just had more questions for him.
Right. No, nothing came back as confirmed when they made that conference as of yet. But I'm sure they'll be able to match it up. But it was just the fact that they, took DNA, that did a swab of the people in that apartment. And for the police to be there, you knew that you were there earlier in the other apartment where you left the key. Now they're coming to question you now along with the roommates. And now they're swabbing you and they're collecting stuff from you and, and all this other stuff. Yeah, that would definitely send fireworks off in his head to say, oh man, I can't stay here. I got to think about I got to think about
Yeah,
it.
Right.
possibly. But for me too, it's like, one, why would you come to the U.S. with one child? Okay, that's weird to me. Okay, two, if you do have roommates, why would you leave the little girl in the house if the roommates were there? And you have a brother and a sister-in-law, you would take the child to be with them.
Right.
Three, if the uncle and the sister-in-law went into the house, they're just gonna walk in and say, "Oh, there's nobody here." They would have seen the bag under the bed. I mean, you're not just gonna walk in and be like, "Oh, where is she?" Like, "Oh, I can't see her face me, so okay, nothing about it." I could understand the father not leaving work because, I mean, one, he is illegal. That's the only job he has, to take care of his family. So he's probably scared. Doesn't understand that he has a right to kind of leave. And if he was probably scared to risk it, and maybe see that maybe the daughter was outside or something, everything was maybe calm and collected. She's probably around somewhere, but not to the point where he probably like really panicked that something bad could have happened to her. And that I would probably say it was probably more of the uncle and the aunt probably not making it into an alarming thing, like, "Hey, your daughter's not here, you got to come here quick, we don't know where she at."
Right, that's right. I'm with you, Maria. I'm with you. I'm riding with
you. Thank you.
I am.
That just sounds weird.
You had some of the same questions I had.
Yeah.
Why he didn't leave work. It that really bothered me. Because I'm like, I would have left work so fast.
Yeah, we would, but they men don't. Not as, I mean, Spanish men, at least the ones I know. Okay, I'm not generalizing, but they are more thinking of work because they're thinking at the end of the day they got to take care of the family.
Right.
And being that he had the uncle and the sister-in-law, the brother and the sister-in-law, he's probably figuring, okay, they're there, they're gonna probably be able to find her.
Right.
But it's not much said about them. So it's like, for them, I don't know, to me, like, why wasn't like a care in the world? So that kind of seemed a little weird.
Right. And there was another question you asked. Why was it just them two? Because we know he has a wife.
Right.
We know there's another child. And if they've been here, if she just turned 11 and they've been here for 4 years, that means when she came over here with him, she was 7.
Right.
Now, the child that's back over in Guatemala with the mother is, I think, 7 right now. Right, boss or John? When it,
yeah,
the other daughter is like 7 right now. So could that be why he brought her, because she was the oldest? Maybe he thought maybe she would be.
But no, I don't think so. Okay. I don't know. Maybe to kind of help him, maybe to, unless she's the one that kind of cooks, and cleaned and stuff like that. Because they do learn at a younger age, how to take care of the household. But I don't think, I mean, I hope we're not in those days, but some people possibly still think that way, know? But it's just weird. Why? Yeah, I mean, either you come out together or you come here by yourself, get your crap together, you know what I mean? And then get your family to come over. But just to be working with one, unless the one that he brought is his, and maybe the other one is, I don't know.
That's a good point, Maria. Maybe she was his biological child.
Maybe.
Interesting. That's why I ride with y'all, man. I do. Learn something every day.
Possibly. I think that would probably be the only logical reason why just her and not, everybody.
Right. You make some good points.
I mean, if you're going to pay for one, you might as well pay for all of them.
Right.
Yes, it's dangerous, you know what I mean? Possibly too. But at the same time, then you would have kept the other girl, you would have kept her back home, wait until they're all old enough to kind of make the cross, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just seems weird to me.
And we know he went from Guatemala to Florida, from Florida to Austin, and then from Austin to Pasadena.
And I know, like, a lot of communities, they do kind of share, even though they don't know each other, but it's just that camaraderie about, everybody being in the same struggle from the same country. Because my parents were immigrants too. My father's from El Salvador, and he came here. He didn't know nobody, but because there were a group of Salvadorians already here, they kind of helped him, settle in with them. He used to sleep on the floor next to the kitchen, on the kitchen floor.
Right.
to be able to save up money until he got his own stuff and get himself legalized and all that other stuff. So yeah, I could understand a lot of people being together, but at the same time, being all these men and one girl,
Right.
That's weird. To leave her there by herself, even if you told, we cannot know if they were already in the house too, the other people that's supposedly staying there, and maybe she did stay in her room.
Right.
But my thing is, why would he just leave her in her room? Like, take her to the uncle, with the sister-in-law.
Right. And I'm 1,000 with you on that. She's 11. Yeah, he's going to work. He's going to be away from that apartment for a number of hours. Why wouldn't you take her to the uncle's house, and say, make that arrangement to say, hey, look, I got to go to work. Could you watch, your niece?
Yeah. At least, even though they won't do it for free, they probably charge,
me. That really puzzled me in the beginning. And I said, wait a minute, and that's where we had to take a very hard look at Daddy, because Daddy, that kind of behavior didn't click with us, especially if you have family members that live in the same community. That should have worked out a whole lot different than just leave her there by herself. She's 11 years old.
Right.
And that's what made me question whether or not there were actually other people living with them too.
Right.
Maybe that's, could that be why, he felt comfortable saying, I'm off to work, and that, but that goes back to the whole, which door?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, which door is she referring to?
Exactly.
See, and that's a mistake to me. And this is just my opinion. That's a mistake to me that he's got to live with for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he left his daughter by herself and thought something else. Everything was fine. And if everything is quiet, it's between me and Maria, and that's it. She knows not to go anywhere if I'm out or out at work. She knows not to unlock doors when I tell her, make sure the doors are locked.
Exactly.
You don't go anywhere,
Yeah. Exactly. I used to tell my kids all that all the time. I was a single mom raising 2 kids. Don't kill each other till I get home. And if y'all kill each other, I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't do that.
That's right. That's right.
But that's pretty much all I had to say, guys.
We appreciate you coming up, Maria. We appreciate
No problem. Thank you for hearing me out. You guys stay safe and stay blessed.
We appreciate
Yes, much love to you and yours.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. And just so we clear, we're not saying that the dad, we don't know for a fact that the dad had roommates. But all I'm saying is if the people across the hall are living like transients, maybe because they hadn't been there that long either.
Right.
So, it's possible we don't know right now. That's one of them details that we don't know as fact, but it was just observation because of how the neighbors were living. That's all. So we're not saying that. So I don't want y'all to think we're saying, oh, the dad had roommates. But it's possible. It's definitely possible considering the type of community that they were in.
I have a question, but I don't think anybody can answer it. And the question is, wonder if the dad knew this 18-year-old.
Of course he did. I think just like Unc knowing, Dad knowing. I think so. That's just my opinion, though.
Because if the dad knew him, then to me, that would have been, the dad would have let his guard down on him. You know what I mean?
And it's possible. It is possible. But there's going to be more details that come out of that aspect now that this dude has been caught. And now he's going to be extradited back to Pasadena, to deal with it now.
Right. And that's why I was wondering if the dad did know him. What if the dad left him there to babysit? You know what I mean? Because we can't get past the door.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Maria Money, hello.
Hey, shout out to Maria and shout out to Sunflower for asking for the replay on that. Yeah. I agree with Maria that she kept saying the door.
Okay.
On the first part. But after the knock, she sounded annoyed to me. Like the way she spoke, what didn't sound like she was afraid of not knowing who was at the door. It was like annoyance that they're knocking at the door is the way I took her tone of voice because she changes. If you go back and replay that, you guys, she clearly that little, and then suddenly you can hear her voice drop, get deeper. Also, I feel like in the beginning, I think Boss said it that if you think about how close the key is, and I don't really say that anybody could be innocent or not. I'm not pointing the finger. It's a safe place. But my theory is homeboy camped on that girl and watched her and he knew. So you would have to know that the dad just literally walked out the door, but who would know that better than the people that live right across the hall from your door?
Absolutely.
They
So
can
they didn't see
every
him leave.
time
They
you
heard
go.
him leave. Yeah, they didn't see him leave. They heard him leave.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. When you live like that, back in the day when I used to live in apartments, you can hear people coming and going above you. You live in a one unit long enough, you can know, oh, that's the lady over there at the end of the hall throwing her trash out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you especially when you live in the same apartment, building with someone else, you get to learn their routines.
Right. That's
When
why
they
I'm
coming and going to work, all that. Yeah.
So they knew that he just stepped out the door if they had the proximity to watch. And I agree with Maria, he does look a little off, but because of my healthcare background, it's a myth or a misnomer to think that people that may have some type of issue or cognitive disorder are not capable of doing heinous things. Because one thing I found odd is the way they found the body in the clothes hamper and under the father's bed. But if you're a young male and you ain't thinking straight, you think you're actually putting it off on somebody else to lead the police a different direction, is how I took that too.
Right. I could see that because like
Very
I said, when we first
sloppy,
got the
low
details,
IQ thinking.
yeah, I could see that. Because when we first, was learning about the case, we started, I think, Wednesday. And I was all over the father. And one of the details that I was using was the fact that she was found under his bed. So
there's some sketchy stuff though, 54. It's gonna have to be some more details because I'm with Maria. Because one thing I don't understand at all is how in the hell when she said "está bien," whatever he told her on the other end of that conversation, she said just like she said "está bien," it's okay. What the fuck you mean it's okay? Excuse me, what the blank you mean it's okay? You just said somebody's knocking at the door.
Right.
Está bien, right. Okay, and who was it not? Like I feel like what we got is kind of like, I don't know if that's the whole thing. If they released the whole conversation, because what did her father say to her?
Right. And we don't have the whole thing. And I had been saying that when I first heard it. I'm like, nah, this has been chopped and screwed. We ain't got the whole conversation.
Yeah, so when Sunshine said play it again, and I ain't gonna lie, I done had a few sips of my my rum, but I'm here, I'm riding. But I just was like,
riding with the rum, baby. Okay.
She said the door. And I'm like, why would she say, like Maria said, she's not really telling you which one in the first part, but I can't catch it clear enough on the second part. So I'm gonna have to play that over by myself. And that's all I wanted to say. And I'm glad y'all do what y'all do.
And we're learning too. We're learning. I mean, La Puerta.
La in Spanish is always the or a.
Right.
La mesa, the table,
La
madre, the mother, But if I want to say your mother, I'll say tu madre. And, like, I'm not going to say la madre, but if I did, then, I'm saying the mother, like it could be the mother of anything.
One mother.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, because it's
Espérame, María está aquí, mujer, no estudia en la escuela, okay? So I didn't learn mine in school. I learned mine at home with my mama. So that's all I got. I'm getting down from here, y'all. And how I leave, just a little
much love to you, Maria.
Okay.
Much love to you, Maria.
And thanks for letting me be a smoke sister. I'm about to burn you up.
Right. Much love to you. Magnetic said that he asked her for some coffee. That's how he got in, because they did tell us, that was another detail, was that that coffee and sugar was all over the place in the apartment. I forgot about that detail.
And that's a good piece of information right there.
Yep. Sure did.
Because I'm scratching my head about 11-year-old having coffee. Wait a minute, Uh-huh. I said it'll all come together why that coffee was there in the living room.
Right.
Then to have what happened to her, now you're thinking, okay, there was somebody else there for coffee.
Yeah, and then I think somebody had said, I think somebody has said okay, there was the coffee. Oh, Magnetic said the news said she was under her bed. But some of the news clips that we saw said that she was under his bed.
His bed, right, yeah.
And we all know how the news can be, y'all.
Right. Okay, Randy, thanks so much for joining the panel.
Oh, yeah, much love to you, Randy.
Yeah.
Had to go do something for the wife. Yep, you better. You better. We don't need no problems, Randy. We don't need no problems. You don't need no problems. Fooling with us at the round table. Yeah, we appreciate you. But yeah, much love to everybody who came out riding with us. Because like I said, we definitely wanted to ride tonight for Maria. Had to. Because that was terrible. And I know there's gonna be more details come out. We'll wait and see. And y'all keep y'all eye on it too. And we gave y'all enough, so that you can follow the story from here on out. And I know at this point, John, didn't they say something like they were trying to get her body back over to Guatemala?
Yeah, they're working on that now. In fact, there is a GoFundMe that was posted up by the family.
Yeah, we need to donate
to try to help gather the funds for funeral arrangements and transference of the family back down to Guatemala so that they can have the proper service there.
Yeah. We need that.
Let's see.
Yeah, but we had to ride for and put these details out and understand this. When we first started, everything was evolving so fast in this case. Because when we first started, there was no suspect. There was no. So we back here scratching our heads like, who did this? And at one point, I'm like, it had to be somebody close. They had to been watching the movement. But as we was getting deeper and deeper into this case, it was like new details was coming out. Oh, you found the GoFundMe. Okay.
Yeah, I was able to find it. So as it stands, according to the GoFundMe that the family had posted, it is, yes, for funeral expenses. And they've already raised $53,219 raised out of $55,000 goal. So this GoFundMe page has been wow, $1,000 anonymous. Woo. Let's see. My name is April Aguirre. I am a crime victim advocate. I'm creating this GoFundMe with permission of Carmelo Gonzalez. All funds will go to the Gonzalez family. This family is going through unimaginable pain. Carmelo was found, his 11-year-old daughter strangled to death under her bed on Saturday, August the 12th. Pasadena police have ruled out Carmelo as a suspect. He is grieving and needing help with funeral expenses to return his daughter to Guatemala, where her family is. Thousands of families have come to the United States to fulfill the American dream, a dream that for Carmelo has turned into a nightmare. If you can donate, please pray for this family. This is a horrific crime. Pasadena police is looking for leads. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers. Telephone number is there, 713-222-TIPS. All information is anonymous. Or Pasadena Police Department, under urgent search underway for the person responsible.
And then, and one of the things that we were just speaking about, thank you for putting that link in the description, in the comments, Fire Mama. I appreciate you, baby. Fire Mama just had a birthday too. Yeah, I didn't put you on blast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
But one thing that was in that article, if you go back down some, this person is representing Carmelo, and they said that she was found under her bed. So let's clear that up. I would think they would be more accurate than the news. You understand what I mean?
Right.
So she was found under her bed. Okay. Okay. Oh, self-paid. Okay, I see you. Self-paid said, yep, had she opened the door with the coffee, he barged right in, and that's how the coffee spilled. Oh.
Good. Wow. Connect those dots.
Interesting. That's why I ride with y'all, man. Think outside the box.
Yes.
You know, try to put these details together. That's why I'm saying we got to do this as a unit.
Mm-hmm. That makes
I didn't
sense.
even think about that.
No, that would make sense. As soon as that door opened or he got in, boom.
Yep. And so it makes me wonder if there was a longer conversation, and at one point, maybe while she's leaving these messages to her dad, she maybe tells him who was out there and that they wanted coffee. You know what I mean? Like, I just really want to hear the whole conversation.
Yeah, because once they piece it together and put out the final report, being that they caught him, he's being extradited back to Pasadena. Monday, he's going to be in court. So, there will be a possible follow-up piece for the roundtable to pursue the rest of the story, because more and more details should be coming up out of this.
Yeah. And we're going to be watching.
Oh, yes.
Because I want to know, again, I'm still stuck on how he got in there. Was he already in there? So there's a couple details that I'm waiting on.
And you're going to hold that door question until it's answered. And I get it. That door, how did he get through that door?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because that's the main part that changed the whole dynamics of the story.
Right. It really does.
Yes, it does. And then
Now,
the coffee in the living room, and then the time it took for him to think about putting plastic bags and oh no, that's not enough. Put her in a hamper or a laundry basket. And I said, how big is a laundry basket?
Right.
Now a hamper is much bigger. But a laundry basket, I was thinking of the Malia Davis case when you and I were talking about the basket that I forget his name was carrying.
Darian,
thank you. Was carrying out of the apartment when he had the basket, the bleach, the plastic bags, and all this other stuff when she went missing.
Right.
I thought it couldn't have been a basket like that. How small is this kid?
Right. And not only that, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask the chat this, because I know we talked about this last night. Do y'all think Maria's father can be charged with anything? Is this because if we're to believe that she was left alone, I mean, that in itself is a crime, correct?
It's a minor, yeah. It's got to be, and that's going to be left up to the courts to decide. Whether there's going to be some kind of culpability that the court is going to impose on him, for leaving there alone in the first place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I can't wait to see how this unfolds.
Great question and good point. Absolutely.
Carolyn said possibly child neglect. Naylin, I'm with you. Naylin said, Naylin, I'm with you. She said, I really wonder if the uncle let him in.
Right. And whether the uncle had a key to the apartment to actually get in.
Yeah. And I think, see, the fact that he called them to go check on her led me to believe that, I mean, it was highly possible that they had a key.
Yeah, in the event of an emergency. I mean, that's the way you would think about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you get locked out, go to your uncle's house, you know, or whatever, you know, so-and-so's got a key, especially on a lockout.
Right.
Because if they ever dealt with a lockout call through maintenance, they'll usually impose a lockout charge.
Right. Okay.
If maintenance has got to be the one to open up the door.
Yeah, I agree with that. Miss T said it depends on the state. Here, you can leave your kids alone at 11. That's just still so young. I don't know. But we all, I mean, I ain't gonna say we all, but a lot of us, let me say a lot, has probably ran to the store. I didn't done it. I ain't scared to admit it. You know, I got an 11-year-old and then my daughter turned 15 today, you know, and I'll run to the store, you know, but I mean, you're not thinking that somebody, man, I don't know. I don't know. Uncle probably maintenance. Shut up.
Oh, man.
Interesting.
And that would be,
something
to look for.
He would have a master key to get in. He wouldn't need their key. He got the master.
Yeah, if that's connected to be true, if the uncle is maintenance, you know, does manage the property in some way, shape, or form, and is the person on call for any kind of maintenance or lockout or whatever like that, hell, that's going to be a little bit more added to the sauce.
It really is. Lena said one of them probably landed a job there or could have landed a job there. Sunflower, you're right. Some maintenance workers do live on the property, but just people that work there, period. Because I worked at an apartment complex where the property manager, she lived on the property. They give you a discount.
Yeah, right. They give you reduced rent. Yeah, they give you a reduced rent
discount. They take it out your salary. You know, so said it's 9 in Oklahoma. That's crazy. You know, because when I was coming up oh man, that's crazy to me. At 9, who leaving their kids on? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think I could do that. You know, and if nothing else, I would be worried, you know, that they would burn my damn house down. Don't cook nothing, don't do nothing. Because even at 11 and 15, I'm telling my kids, look, don't open this door, don't do this, don't that. Chill. I'll be right back. Don't do nothing. You know, you can't even go outside.
Yeah, those are called the golden rules of living as a young person with your mom and dad or your parents or, you know, guardian, you know, about the main door being locked, the room being clean, dishes being done, you know, the golden rules of the house.
Maria brought up a good point. She said, look at this real quick before we get out of here. Maria said, if you have a key, why bother to knock?
Yeah. Another good point.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, as far as maintenance goes, what I know for sure is that they got to knock before they use the key. Like, yeah, they got the master, but they got to knock first. You know, but as far as this case right here, I mean, as far as the little boy, because for all we know, he's not maintenance. At least they haven't told us that.
Right.
You know, I just, Maria, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still confused on which door. So, but I you know, like I said, I mean, it could be either one, you know, but yeah, I'm a little confused on that part. Raphael said, but they got DNA. No labels. Don't worry about it. We riding, baby. don't worry about it. Raphael said, but they got his DNA, so they got the right person. I'm sure of it. Because if he's assaulted her in that manner, I mean, if there's DNA, that means there was no condom, right?
Right. I mean, medical examiner is going to, take all evidence samples from, Maria's mouth, her face, the neck where the strangulation took place, the shoulders, if there were hair transfers between his and hers, and he looks like he had long hair in that picture. So I'm sure that there was going to be hair transfer. There's going to be a lot of evidence DNA-wise that they can match up if it is him.
Oh yeah, they got him.
Yeah,
especially
the violation. The essay violation.
Right, Shamina. She said, or it would have been under her nails. It's a lot of ways. It's a lot of ways to leave DNA. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he wasn't thinking about anybody but himself.
Yep. Yeah. But like I said, we appreciate y'all coming out. We appreciate y'all riding. Not only with us, but for her. This was about her tonight. We was riding for her. So, like I said, we appreciate all y'all coming out, riding with us on this Saturday night. Like I said, y'all could have been doing something else, but y'all riding at the round. Y'all sitting at the round table right now, and we appreciate y'all, because like I said, when we come, we want to make sure we have a full understanding of what we're looking at. So when you leave out of here, you leave a little smarter.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Leave a little smarter. Because if you leave a little smarter, that means we didn't waste your time. See?
Yeah, and we do take appreciations here at the RoundTable. It does support the channel. It gives us the ammunition that we need to go into these cases and grab these facts bring them, to put them together, compile them, and to make them make sense enough to present them either at a RoundTable React or a full RoundTable where we will go through a deep case breakdown. So yes, appreciations are welcome always.
Right.
And your support is always welcome. Make sure that, you liked tonight's content, show it at the door, put us in the algorithm, let people know about the RoundTable too.
We're here.
Yeah, we are.
We
are in a very big way. And I thank 54 Keys for even thinking about this and envisioning a thing like this kind of a platform for content creators to get together and combine our knowledge and efforts to bring you this kind of content. Oh my God. Curly Diva. Thank you.
Much love to you, Curly.
Wow.
Smoke sister.
Much love to. Okay. Smoke sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Curly, a smoke sister.
Much love to you.
Much love to you, Curly. Like I said, we appreciate all y'all. Like I said, and tonight we was riding for Maria. This was about her. And like I said, I just wanted to make sure, or we wanted to make sure that, y'all left a little smarter. That's the object of the game, to make sure y'all get the details. So, keep up with this story, y'all. For her, not for us, for her. And if you can, like I said, they got a GoFundMe. So we'll be donating on behalf of the RoundTable. But yeah, we got to make sure that we protect our children.
Absolutely.
I know her father did some things that we question, myself included. But we have to make sure, we're watching out for our children. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her father, because really at the end of the day, we can question what he did, but he was just trying to make $1. Just trying to make $1. So I get it. I definitely understand it. But him chasing a dollar took his daughter away from him. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, it's a sad situation. But like I said, you know, we're going to get on up out of here. We appreciate y'all riding. You know, much love to the chat. Wasn't nothing but good energy. This is a safe place, a safe zone. Hashtag safe zone.
Absolutely. And thank you all who came up on the panel to join us for tonight's Roundtable React.
Yeah, we had Maria up here. The other Maria was up here. You know, Randy came on up. And again, we want to shout out J-Rod.
Yes, J-Rod on point. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to get on up out of here. Much love, y'all. And, you know, we're going to see y'all at the next Roundtable. We riding, baby.
Yeah, we got it bumping.
You need to disconnect that cable, cause if you want the truth, we at the round table. We give it real when the mothers ain't able. That's what it is when we at the round.